This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Friday and welcome into Old School 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you for the next 3 hours here on the show. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of things. As always, you can via our starter, Heman Jewelers. Text line, Jay Foreman, we got 2 good weather days. Get out and grill.
Hey, man, you know how I do this. As long as it's not super windy, it don't matter the temp. Because that new grill and the new grills that I got have the skirt on it that keeps it warm. So it's all good.
Ooh. There's only one sort of product that will go on your grill as well.
That's
it's
the
meat
Mercado.
from?
Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, special ingredients, a butcher shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt/Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O.
Nebraska football heads out to UCLA. Should be on their way by now. They play tomorrow night. And Jay, when they get back on Sunday, watch out. High of 37 on Sunday. After it rains here Saturday night, and there's a half marathon going on Sunday morning as well. Chumps.
Bundle up. Bundle up, Jack. You in for it. And then it's supposed to be nice next week. Let's look at the daily thing. Let's see what we got going on so we can properly plan.
Tuesday looks incredible. You go from like 37 on Sunday back to like mid-60s for a high on Tuesday. You got all day.
I do, because you guys are going to have the badminton on. I'm going to be here. Sunday's going to be a high of 36.
Brutal.
Yo, that's crazy.
Oof.
43 Monday, 65, 60. Yeah, it's on and popping.
Survive Sunday. Maybe Monday. Tough it out. But this weekend's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
And poor Nebraska football has to go all the way out to sunny Southern California to play a football game against UCLA. Jay, I do think this is an interesting test case of a game, though, to determine just how much the regular season actually matters in this college football playoff day and age. Because I think on the one hand, you could look at it from the Nebraska perspective and say, well, lost to USC in the winner go home sort of match. USC's college football playoff hopes are alive. Nebraska, well, sorry, you're out of the running. Why do you really care about the rest of the year? You can't really accomplish your biggest goal of making the college football playoff. What's the point of this game? I would counterpoint that by saying, well, Nebraska is still a relatively young and growing program under Matt Rule that has a lot to prove in November. And same thing for UCLA. You have to prove to whoever your next full-time head coach is going to be that it is a desirable job, that you can win there, that you can get athletes to campus, attract them to stay, and you're still fighting for bowl eligibility. I think maybe to an outside observer, this is a who cares game. But I think despite not having any real college football playoff ramifications, this can be still a big game for both of these programs.
Oh, this is a huge game for both teams. Huge game. And you like it this way. So it's no different than last week. Obviously, you're not mathematically eliminated, but just seems like you're on the outside looking in and need a lot of help. But even if you say you needed 5 things to go right in the next 3 weeks or in the next 3 games for Nebraska, 4 weeks, right? You still got to handle your business. So nothing's changed. The standard of how you operate shouldn't change whether you made a mistake or not. And that's the maturity of this year that you're waiting to see. Are we mature enough to understand that we wasn't able to beat a UC or USC team? And can we go back out to UCLA team that's obviously playing better than the first 4 weeks or playing a tad bit more efficient than the first 4 weeks because they did some decent things in the first 4 weeks, weren't able to win, and go out there and beat them. They're going to be tough, right? They kind of battled against Northwestern. They're able to beat Maryland. They were able to beat Michigan State and obviously Penn State. So, take them at their best and obviously strongly evaluate the last time they played against Indiana, but get on the plane, or if you're playing right now, get your mind right. Why would you ever play a game and like move the goal line? You playing. Like, bro, like you just trained from January to August for 12 games. You played 9. You're 6-3. And all of a sudden, like it's almost like that. And I don't think the team is like that, but I'm just talking about the mindset. Like you lose a game of 21, you grab your ball and go home in basketball. You know what I mean? And part of the maturity is getting over that type of immature mindset that has been here obviously well before these guys got here. But you also have to beat it and beat teams out of it. And it's a big deal because it's going to show maturity. It's going to show you are on the right path, which they still are on the right path, but you're going to verify it and double it down and cement it that you're on the right path. It's going to help in recruiting. It's going to help on what bowl game you go to. And also it's going to change the narrative nationally as well. So sure, the schedule is favorable. Everybody didn't go our way up to right now, right? Because everybody like to be 9-0 and obviously 7-2. But then you end the season, 8-4, 9-3. You're able to retain guys. You're able to use your money if you get more resources, that Matt Rule said and Troy Dana said, to retain the guys that help you get there. And this is where the players need to also understand. You're playing for checks right now. So the resources are going to be the resources, which I'm assuming is going to be somewhat of an uptick, right? That's what part of the contract said. So as they're evaluating, are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? Are you making progress or are you just staying pat? Now they start to grade you a little bit higher, because now, the pressure is going to start to amp up more. More money becomes more pressure. The more that you get in NIL becomes more pressure. That's just the facts of life, and that's the way it goes. So if you think you're going to go out to UCLA and him-hum around and then have another bye week, you got another thing coming. You're going to get your feelings hurt because then I'll start playing.
And worse, you might lose a game.
Lose a game. Okay, that's the minimal. Okay, that's actually the biggest thing. Okay, what also comes off of that was just as important. Then I'll say there's a freshman that's been doing really good on the practice squad. He got 2 games. I'll just put him in there. Since not you, but if there's certain players you cashed it in, well, then I'm going to cash in on them. But to get all that out of the way, just go out there and handle your business. This is a game they should win. It will be tough. They will be game. Go out there and play to your potential and go out there and do what you've done at times after the losses. Play better. And then win.
If you check out, you won't cash in.
No, if you checked out right now, man, you got bigger. If you, this is just anybody. If you check out before you finish, you have no chance of doing anything that you think you want to do.
Right.
Like individually. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at other greener pastures right now, that means you never really watered your lawn. Right? Because now there's no excuse because the transfer portal is not until January.
Mm-hmm.
So, remember it kind of came in December, right?
Yeah, right at the end of the regular season.
Right, yeah. So you can understand that because I was saying, remember, what's his face? The linebacker, that brother was in the portal. He probably had it timed up. When I touch down, I'm in the portal.
You talking about Bear?
Yeah. And so now you got to finish. And this is a great opportunity. You are right where you want to, not right where you want to. You are right on the cusp of being that team that have legitimate talks now.
Mm-hmm.
Like the worst place to be as a player sometimes, and definitely as a program, is 5-7, 7-5. That's the worst place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because teams are coming to plug you in to be a backup. We've seen guys, James Williams, Jamari, right? You're going, we need
Bayer
you,
at this point.
Bayer. We need you just to be just a guy, right? And you might be just as good, but they already got guys set. We need you to be a rotational player. So teams will come up and pluck some of your players off your roster to fill backup or rotational player spots. Then it's a little bit harder to recruit versus when you're 8-4. They get off the plane coming here knowing they're close.
You're a piece or two away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a piece.
Right.
And what are we going to do?
D-Man on our Starter Human Jewelers text line. If we go from seniors playing in the bowl game for their own pride to players checked out because we're out of the playoff in just one season, we are doomed. That being from the Nebraska standpoint. I'm not as worried about it for Nebraska because I do think that there's still plenty for Nebraska to play for. But if you look around the country, there are more and more games like that. You think about, Auburn and Vanderbilt. Auburn just fired its coach again. Vanderbilt was looking like a college football playoff team. Now they're all but out of it. They got to win to stay alive, but they're definitely on the periphery of the race if you look at the rankings. You look at Iowa State, TCU. Iowa State's going through injuries. One of the Big 12 favorites going into the year. Haven't had the season they wanted because of the injuries. Well, TCU's like a 7.5-point favorite. But for Iowa State, the motivation is we're still this team. We're still this program. We're not going to let injuries get us down. If we follow up last year's, essentially best year in school history, double-digit wins, beating Miami in the bowl game when Cam Ward sits out in the second half, it's not a good look to follow up that 10 or 11-win season by just stopping at 6. Oh, yeah, same old Iowa State last year was the fluke. You get to, 7 with injuries or 8 with injuries, you get taken really legitimately as a program. Kansas and Arizona play this weekend. Two teams that are both really trying to find their footing in that Big 12, different spots in the program, different spots for their head coaches. But that's why I still think that the regular season has to matter. And maybe the biggest example of this for me, Jay, is LSU, Alabama. You talk about operate individually, think collectively. LSU is much too proud of a program to be dealing with the crap that it's dealing with, or it should be. We know the dynamics behind the scenes. They brought it upon themselves in some ways with all sorts of decisions down the line. But if you're Garrett Nussmeier, what does, opting out of the rest of the season do for you? Nothing. You haven't lived up to expectation. You still got to go out there and you got to play. If you're Alabama, you're ranked 4th in the country right now, but you can only assume that this LSU team is going to come out hungry. You're not assured of being in the playoff. You're not the no doubt number 1 like you were 3 years ago, and beyond. There's no reason for you, even though it's a home game against an LSU team coming into it with an interim head coach, there's no reason you should be sleepwalking into a game like this, which is where I am so fascinated to see the continuing development of the transfer portal and NIL. Are guys able to, at the end of the year, not mentally check out, not opt out and say, I'm going to go get ready for the NFL draft, my college football playoff chances, go out the window? Will they still be mature enough to lock in and play for that next paycheck? Whether it's, okay, I'm going to enter the portal, but I know the best way for me to get the biggest bag in the best situation is to continue to play well. Or do they go the opt-out route? Well, sorry, team goals are over. Doesn't do me any good. I know I'm going to go somewhere else at the end of the year. I think we still have a lot of that to figure out ahead of us.
It depends on where does the contract go through the regular season or does it go through the whole football season, say to January or whatever.
Yeah.
You'll see some guys that probably only play until in the regular season, especially if they have a really good NFL grade. And you can't fault them for that. I just think when you have a really young team like Nebraska, and the Auburn is a little bit different because those guys that they're in survival mode, right? Because they don't have no idea who's going to LSU probably in those walls, they probably have an idea who's going to be the next coach. They actually got a president and an athletic director. They are kind of more in line versus Auburn. So they're a little bit more steady there, right? And they have a little bit more pride.
Very recently steady, but
yeah, just a couple days ago. But they're just in general, right? Yeah. And so Auburn, those guys are in survival mode, and because they have no idea who's going to be their next coach. LSU is probably going to be somebody with some ties to LSU. So if you are a true LSU Tiger, you're going to be there. And they kind of were top heavy because they went heavy in the portal. So the young guys know that they got to play. But when you go to Nebraska with I think one of the youngest teams in the nation, is that you're trying to, you better go play. First of all, you need the experience of playing. You got to create some continuity, some standard, to continue to have the standard. But more importantly, you're trying to cement yourself here. It's not looking to next year, but that schedule is serious. And when when it's like if I was in one of the 4 teams that I played at, and I heard the GM was like, "Man, I can't wait to next year, and we get some salary cap relief, and we got an extra $20 million." You better think they're looking at every spot, and that's not to put it, back in the corner, but I am backing in the corner. There's no reason because you lost one game and you can't get the goal that that you have that you need to change how you go play, because that would tell me that even when you got there, you was done.
Yeah.
So I don't think this team is built like that. I think they'll go out there and try to, show and prove. I think they'll try to rally around TJ Lateef and they'll go out there and play well. But I'm, like I said yesterday when Jason was on, Jason Peter, that is that I'm waiting to see that guy who's going to take it upon himself to go out there and lead. Not just one play and then you're running around. I'm talking about, okay, yeah, he stepped up. He's been playing good, but you know what? We needed him, and he was there. And it could be multiple guys. I want to see guys who are going to step up, because that's going to show me more than anything, and that'll show other teams if you have to go in the portal more than that. Who's going to be the guy that comes down and makes a big play on special teams? You know what I'm saying? Get back on track. You've been very dominant. Let's do it against UCLA.
Does it matter who those players are for Nebraska?
It needs to be the guys that have the most, I don't know, whatever, social media following, whatever, those are
cachet.
Yeah, the guys they've been talking about. You know Emma's going to show up, right? Who's going to show up that either has been somewhat consistent but needs to get it going? Those guys got to do it. It's got to be somebody across the defensive line. It's got to be somebody alongside or besides Javen at the second level, and somebody again, even if it's, Deshaun, then him, he's been consistent. Javen's been consistent.
Sierra Wright.
Well,
he's
been consistent. Okay, well, Marshall made a big play. Okay, then we need some more guys to make plays. Somebody's got to come up there and, make some extraordinary plays to shut down this UCLA offense. And then on the offensive side, who's going to be the guy that's going to show some leadership and lead TJ Lateef to a great game?
That is exactly where I was going to go next. The quarterback.
That's exactly what, because I'm always on the same mindset with you.
I can tell. Until I have to convince you otherwise. Yeah. But the TJ Lateef aspect of this fascinates me because, Jay, I think that it would be one thing if Nebraska fans knew Dylan Raiola was off to the NFL draft next year. His career at Nebraska came to an unfortunate end with injury. And, okay, you get essentially a head start on the future now. We can maybe start a little bit of install. Maybe the personnel is not the exact same, but we can figure out what this kid is good at with an extra 3 games of runway. Well, as of right now, we have no reason to believe Dylan Raiola is not returning to Nebraska. TJ Lateef is kind of a placeholder. But if you're TJ Lateef, this is your chance to make it a competition, an open competition. Who knows if that'll ever happen?
Yeah.
For better or for worse. We saw the reasons why Dylan was the unquestioned, no doubt starter through really 8.5 games. He's playing some pretty good football, at least putting up good statistical numbers. It has the potential to get, I don't know if awkward is the right word. Certainly the temperature of the water is going to get turned up in the competition if TJ Lateef plays well. I think it'd be more comfortable for Nebraska as a program if this injury came in Dylan Raiola's last year. And they're like, okay, we can get a head start on the future.
Yeah.
But now with TJ Lateef in a homecoming, 3 games to prove what he's got, I'm not saying it wasn't an open competition going into the year. I think Dylan Raiola clearly earned the starting nod last year and had to come into this year as the unquestioned starter. But if TJ Lateef plays well,
if he plays
well
like
enough,
lights out, of course. But I don't think. I think he'll play well. I still think Dylan ain't going nowhere, and he'll be the starter.
Oh, I agree.
I'm
just saying that at least the whole offseason of questions and speculation.
But what that'll do, and that's what you want. What that'll do, it will make Dylan raise his game even higher. It'll make TJ raise his game even higher.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be times you might play, TJ some next year, and then you know what, you welcome that, and it doesn't matter that Dylan's the starter. He's face of the team and all that other stuff. So there's always going to be competition, man. And I learned it, man. I learned it, and this isn't about me. They're playing, but I'm just saying I can just speak from experience. The best lesson I ever learned, and who knows if the dynamics would have. It was other dynamics around why I was potentially going to transfer. But, we went in 94. I start in 95, kind of splitting time, and I'm starting. But, I'm playing. I'm young. Feel like I'm, starting to, play really well and work hard at it and grade out well and all that. It's probably one or 2 foot, out the door, going to Michigan, and worked on it on my own. My dad was like, nah, man. He's like, look, if you think you're going to ever get to anywhere in life without competition, you sadly mistaken. He's like, I had competition. He's like, they brought in a guy named Oscar Reed, middle of his career. Dad ended up, his career is what it was. He had to beat out guys that were at Minnesota before. He had to beat out guys in Miami. I mean, heck, he came in as a tight end. And so he's like, it's not happening. And he's like, it will bring things out of you that that you don't even have in you right now. And so don't run away, run to it. And that's anybody. And sure, the ego,
anybody and everybody.
The ego is some, and to be good, you got to have I think I think you need to be confident, and you sure have an ego, a good ego. I think when people are arrogant, I think that's confidence with ignorance.
But I think being at the level that you've been at, the difference. You can tell the difference, right? It's earned.
Or if it's fake.
Yeah.
Like somebody's, like you can just smell it on them. You faking. So,
we talk about walking through the airport, seeing a football player.
Yeah, you see it. So I think the best thing that can happen for everybody is TJ Lateef plays good, Nebraska wins, and all that stuff will take care of itself. Dylan's the starter. Dylan, he's going to approach the offseason to get better anyways. And, he'll do his thing, and then TJ will do his thing. Mm-hmm. That's what you want. And that's everybody on the team. Even if Nebraska goes 9-3, everybody on that team needs to play better, or needs to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with that. They need to be better together. You know what I'm saying? They need to really hone in on the fundamentals, the little things that make you, that's the difference probably. Say if they end up 8-4, 9-3 versus 10-2, 9-3, whatever that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Or
like say they end up 8-4, 7-5 versus 9-3, 10-2, or whatever. It comes down to small things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where you can control, but everybody has to go back and get better at those, and then obviously continue to get better at what you're really good at as well.
That was one of the questions I was going to bring up to you too, for these games that maybe from the outside looking in, for fans, when you see a team that doesn't seem like it has anything to play for, fired coach, playoff hopes dashed or whatever, if a team is checked out and not invested and they're kind of playing out the string, what's the first thing to go? Doing the big things wrong or doing the little things wrong?
Well, the first game to go would be like effort.
Mm.
When you've seen that at times, like Bill Callahan, and they just let people just embarrass you. They just kind of roll.
So is that then reflected in doing like the big picture things wrong, or just the
That's
little
just,
details?
yeah,
wrong?
that's everything. They just they just looking at the clock, just taking on the chin. That won't happen at Nebraska.
Yeah, no, that's not what I'm trying to insinuate.
But when you play a team like UCLA, right? You better bet. Listen, you better bet they got something to play for.
Mm-hmm.
That coach is coaching for something.
They can still get to a bowl game.
He's a UCLA dude. He's looking at this. We get this game and steal one down the stretch. I won 6 games, 6 out of the last 8.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason for UCLA not to hire him. Boy Wonder, he been on that the Madden or whatever the game is they got now for 2 weeks, drawing up plays. He's trying to be an offensive coordinator. He been there 8 years, dying to call plays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
and he's calling him like it. And
so if you think they got some interesting stuff around their program, but they have righted the ship more than just 1 week. The 1 week uptick. They've been consistent. Now Indiana got after him a little bit, and they feel like they can go back to the lab and rest a little bit, get their bearings together, and get better. So you better bet your butt that they got something to play for, and you want them to play for it. I want to beat you. I want your best. So when you go home, you just sad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no excuses. You guys gave us our best effort. We just came out there and beat the brakes off you. We, flight messed up or whatever.
We're just good. You're just bad.
Yeah. We'll holler at you. We'll see you next year or whatever next time we play. So this is a mindset game. This is a maturity game. I don't know what another M is I could do for it. Mindset and maturity game. This is an M squared game. Yeah,
I'm trying to think about another M.
Maybe
make it a masterpiece.
Matchup game.
Yeah.
Because
the man up game.
Yeah, it is. It's a man up game. I mean, the front, first and second level, front 7, you got man up. You know who's going to get the ball. You know who stirs the pot over there. It's your job to stop them. And I don't want no excuses. You do that, you win the game.
Nebraska, UCLA, 8 o'clock on Saturday. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the Big Ten. Yeah, Eric's just being Eric. I was going to move on.
Hey, that dude don't miss a beat, do he?
He does not.
Yeah.
He's on it. He's on us. Eric, we do appreciate you for the most part, even when you're acting a fool. Big weekend in the Big Ten. Wisconsin says it's holding on to Luke Fickell.
Man.
What does that do for that team as Washington comes to town? Oregon, Iowa, and Indiana, Penn State. Plenty of games to talk about in the Big Ten. We'll do that next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary, We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right, this is Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you here at 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. Jay, we led into break with this. We'll start with it. Wisconsin, yesterday, makes it official. Luke Fickell will be returning for the 2026, that would be college football season. Has not gone well for the one-time college football playoff appearance coach. Did it, of course, at Cincinnati. Let's start first and foremost, your reaction to Chris McIntosh making the decision to commit to Luke Fickell for 2026, at least the beginning of 2026 at this point in the season.
Yeah, he said it earlier in the year where he said, he realizes that football needs more resources. And he also said that Luke Fickell hasn't had those resources. So I think it gives them, another shot at it. I felt like this year's schedule with what they had coming back and the lack of resources and recruiting ability was shot in the dark. I think the way they played against Oregon probably let the AD and powers that be know that Luke Fickell does have a good handle on the locker room. Mm-hmm. I do think if I'm giving you more resources, one of those resources, you have to start recruiting locally.
Sure.
For him, you have to do something that Barry Alvarez,
Brett Bielema,
Paul Chris has done tremendously well. Mm-hmm. So he has to do that, and then he has to, cash in on this extra, year. And I think he can. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a tough-minded guy. I think he came in with an idea, trying to do something that would take them to the next level, and it has not worked because he wasn't able to go all in on it. They didn't have the personnel to go all in on it. And then they didn't stick to it because it didn't work, and he saw it wouldn't work. So now you have to do kind of what, maybe not to the magnitude. I mean, what Fred Hoiberg did. Remember when he said he came to Trev and he said, "I have a plan."
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much in my mind, and now Fred could say it better than I am, but I give Fred and the staff all the credit, is that they went back in from my perspective, they identified what they wanted in a Nebraska basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started to recruit and develop to it. And you saw better play, more consistent play. Obviously, at K-State, and you had some really good players. But I think that was a more aesthetically pleasing product to watch, and it was better in the wins and losses.
Yeah.
That's what Luke Fickell needs to do. He has to do that. You cannot rinse and repeat and think that you're going to figure it out. And I'm going to tell you this. This is not a time for him to just make wholesale staff changes.
No.
I don't need you to blow my resources that we give you or having a pot for you to go, because no coach is going to go there on a 1-year deal. It's 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So now you're risking more money essentially if I have to fire you. Now we're giving everybody parachute, golden packages to come here. This is your staff. Sure, if you need to make a choice here, which is understandable. This is your staff. You and your staff start actively working on next year right now. Every day that you approach the practice field, every day you approach the game, every day you approach the off season, and then you just move on from there, and then you amp it up. There is no vacation time for you. You have a lot of ground to make up. And if he does that, Wisconsin will be, back in, I would say, let's just say good graces, I guess, for, where they're usually very competitive. I think they need to try to get back to being physical. I think by being physical and running the ball, I have seen every team that national champions score a lot of points.
They also prevent a lot of points.
Because if you're running the ball, if you're a physical team on offense, it's most likely you're going to be a physical team on defense. If you're running the ball on offense, most likely you're pretty good against the run defensively if you're physical at it. Because in college football, unlike the NFL, you have to stop the run. You have to stop the run.
And I would argue, too, that you can't be a physical defense without a physical offense. Because if you're hitting guys as a defense that aren't tough on offense, you're going to think you're tough until someone that's actually tough comes in.
You know what? Sometimes if you're ahead of them,
you can teach them. You bring them along.
Well, you got to, beat them into it. Just like you say, like if you're going, okay, I'd say this, like the defensive backs at Ohio State, I'm sure they're on draft boards. By them going against Jeremiah Smith was it Carnell Lake?
Carnell Tate.
Carnell Tate. Carnell Lake. I was thinking about the safety from the UCLA Bruins. That you're automatically better than going against some scrubs.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So Ohio State's offense makes Ohio State's defense better, and vice versa.
Yes.
They get back to that because real quick, Austin, I want to just look at their schedule. They didn't have it out there. So, well dang. They get there you go. Well, you can't probably bring a new coach in with this schedule. You get the party started against Notre Dame.
Yep.
At Lambeau Field. Then you play Western Illinois. Illinois.
Leathernecks.
Yep. And then you play Pittsburgh. That's no easy out either.
Paul Crispo.
Right. And because they're physical, and that's the way, like, your
Pat Narduzzi knows you.
Yep. And home games. Michigan State. Okay, you got to win that. Rutgers. Minnesota, that's got to be a toss-up. USC. You like your home schedule.
Manageable.
It is, right? You want to be, at worst-case scenario, 2-2. And you got Pittsburgh. I'm talking about the conference, right? So 2-2. Then on the road, okay, you go at Iowa. That's going to be tough. You know that, right? Okay, you go to Maryland. You know you're in a dogfight then. You like your chances go to Penn State with a new first-year coach.
Right.
Right? And then you go to Purdue. Not going to be an easy task, but feel like you have the upper advantage. Again, then you go to UCLA. I like that schedule for Luke Fickell.
Yeah.
That schedule becomes a very nice schedule when you handle your business from November or whatever. We're in the 6th or whatever to next year.
Luke Fickell right now 7-6 with a bowl loss the first year, 5-7 last year, 2-6 right now. Feels like if everything breaks right, you can find your way to 8.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be a goal for people looking from the outside in.
I mean, they're 2-6 right now. Who knows?
Still a lot left.
They're 2-6 right now. They play Indiana. They play Washington tomorrow.
Washington, Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota.
Yeah, you might mess around and be 2-10.
Yeah.
So if you go in 7-5 that next year, you made a drastic turnaround.
Mm-hmm. The other example that comes to mind for me for Wisconsin is Tony Elliott at Virginia.
That's exactly. Yeah. But Tony Elliott came in and tried to run Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And then what really set them off? When he wanted to play bully ball.
Yeah.
And who did he do it against? Florida State.
But here's the other thing. Tony Elliott did it through the portal.
Yeah.
You got to balance it. You got to be strategic, I think, to your point. But how do you show that you're invested? You go get the pieces you need right now in the portal.
Right.
But this offseason, you got to touch grass on every high school in the state of Wisconsin.
But Tony Elliott did it after Virginia put in more resources.
Invested. Yes. That's why I went to that
college. Go spend my money strategically and effectively.
Show me my money and then spend it well.
Yeah. You can send some this way.
It may as well.
Yeah.
Picking Washington to win this weekend, but keep an eye on Wisconsin.
Yeah. I think Wisconsin's going to be tougher. I think they'll give Washington some troubles defensively. Mm-hmm. Their defense against Washington. Okay. I think Washington eventually will win that game, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than, I don't know what the spread is or anything like that. I think it's going to be pretty close.
A couple other Big Ten games of interest, Jay. Let's just go right next door. Oregon travels to Kinnick Stadium to take on Iowa. In Kirk Ferentz's tenure, of course, the longest tenured FBS head coach right now, Iowa is 5-1 against top 10 opponents in November and beyond. And Iowa is 4-1 in ranked versus ranked matchups in November under Kirk Ferentz. You can also look at Iowa in the last 20 years having 5 wins against top 10 teams at home. And shout out to Scott Dochterman of The Athletic. Iowa has won 21 of its last 23 games in November. And the only times Iowa has lost is when their starting quarterback went down with a season-ending injury. Ducks clearly on upset alert. Do you trust Iowa to pull it off, or can Oregon go on the road and get it done?
No, they're gonna beat Iowa. They got everything to play for. They're gonna beat Iowa. Iowa, even though they beat Minnesota and beat them bad and embarrassed them, their quarterback still can't throw.
Iowa's got everything to play for too. I mean, this is a huge resume win. They're unranked in the AP poll, but they're number 20 in the college football playoff rankings. They win this, they might jump USC in the college football playoff pecking order.
Yeah, they got a chance. But it's not happening.
I sure hope not.
I'm sorry.
But you're not.
Not at all. It's not happening, but Oregon will win. And are we doing pick 'em now? We're doing Big Ten?
No, we just have one other game I wanted to talk about here before we go to break. Indiana versus Penn State. Should have been a marquee game. It's really not anymore. But again, in the regular season, doesn't matter, or does it really sort of conversation. If you're Penn State, what a great way to get some sort of credibility back. Bringing an Indiana team that everyone now talks about as legitimate for good reason, because Oregon is bullying people, or Indiana is bullying people like Oregon left and right. Here's the other interesting part of it, though, Jay. Penn State hung tough with Ohio State for half. Outscored by like 20 points in the second half. Okay, that'll happen when you're in Penn State situation. Ohio State might be the best team in the country, playing pretty well right now. But we don't get Indiana versus Ohio State this year. Not that you can tell everything and really anything at all from the record of the games against common opponents. But 1 week after hanging tough with Ohio State for, 2.5 quarters-ish, let's see if Penn State's able to do that again. Or if Indiana says, you know what? Nope, we're following our head coach's mindset. We are no nonsense. We are all business. We're not even going to let Penn State think for a second that they have a chance.
Yeah, I think Kirk Cignetti's going to take that mindset. He's going to come in and try to get you to move faster to the next coach. And so, I think Penn State will play hard. They play hard against Ohio State. I just don't think they have it. The quarterback's gone, so they got a good running attack, and I think Indiana will scheme.
Well, their backup quarterback is dinged up too now for Penn State.
But they got 2 good running backs, and it just has not worked out for Penn State. Mm-hmm. Their defense is good, but not as good as they thought it was going to be.
Right.
They don't look nearly as complete as I would like.
Yeah.
And so I think Indiana's going to handle their business, and it'll be closer than against UCLA, but it'll definitely be a dominating win.
We'll go to break. When we get back, we'll jump off on Indiana a little bit and compare them to a team with a marquee game coming up this weekend as well. Why do we talk differently about Kurt Signetti and Joey McGuire in Indiana and Texas Tech. That'll be how we wrap up Hour 1 of Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Dana Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Dana Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Dana Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Keep 'em Home reminds listeners that each winter, thousands of seniors suffer from weather-related medical difficulties. If you know a senior living alone or at risk, please check up on them. Make sure their furnace or heater is working properly. What better way to show you care than by taking a senior shopping, even a simple phone call to assure their safety? This reminder is a courtesy of Keep 'em Home, serving our area with pride and integrity, providing in-home care for seniors and disabled individuals who are confined to their homes or need additional aid to complete their daily activities. For more info, call 402-937-7000. That's 402-937-7000. Keep 'em Home, on the air because they care.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I Parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I Parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
After a long, hot summer, are you ready for fall? What about your home? Is your heating system ready for cooler temperatures ahead? Call Bryant for your fall heating check. No matter what brand of equipment you own, Bryant's trained technicians will thoroughly clean and inspect your furnace or heat pump to make sure you stay warm, safe, and comfortable. Call today to schedule your home heating check. 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Norman, Jay Foreman back here wrapping up hour one of Old School. Mentioned that we're talking college football quite a bit. We'll get into some of the other big games of the weekend coming up at 4. But, Jay, I do think it's worth having this conversation. Curt Cignetti versus Joey McGuire. Why do we talk about them different? Are they different? Are they more similar than we want to give them credit for? What are the differences between Indiana's build the last year and a half and Texas Tech's seeming resurgence over the last year, I guess, starting off this season?
Well, Curt Cignetti came in selling wolf tickets right off the rip. So he got Indiana, eyes on Indiana like that.
Quick. Yeah.
Joey McGuire kind of came in real humble. You know, I think he was assistant coach. I think he was under Coach Rule, right, at Baylor. And then he got that job.
Mm-hmm.
So, he was a high school coach before that. Mm-hmm. So he kind of came in and was just trying to figure it out. They didn't have instant success. And that's the main difference. It's the personality.
The other difference I would say is that Curt Cignetti, at least anecdote, it feels like he coached his way there. I'm not saying Joey McGuire is a bad coach, but it kind of feels like, Texas Tech kind of skipped the line by using the credit card. They bought the Disney Fast Pass.
And Curt Cignetti came in with
more talent than people gave him credit for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you bring Surratt with you bring Fisher with you, and you bring the defensive lineman with you. Pons, I think, came as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's underrated talent, right? And that's on, prognosticators, myself included, for missing. I don't want to give Joey McGuire just the easy way out and say, well, he's only a good coach when Texas Tech is spending money. Because we've seen super teams assembled before that have fallen short, money or recruiting or whatever it is you want to call it. But I do think right now, I do give Curt Cignetti a little bit more credit, where he was good without as much investment, and then Indiana came in with the investment after the college football playoff run they had last year. I'm not saying money saved Joey McGuire. I still think he's a good football coach.
It definitely helped.
But that, to me, is the biggest difference between the two right now, is when the investment landed for both.
Yeah, I think that they kind of fast-tracked Joey McGuire, and it was a great opportunity, and, you can't fault them for that, so I think they're both good coaches. They both had to come up the hard way. I mean, Texas Tech for a while wasn't the place to be, and definitely wasn't a recruiting place. But then they went out and were able to go get guys. They had a lot of guys they went and got, like through the portal or through the high school ranks. So you got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, he's doing well right now.
He absolutely is. I will say, obviously, Joey McGuire has no time to think about this, so I'll think about it for him. I will say it's a really good thing for him that he's been successful this year with all this investment, because if Texas Tech, given its leadership, has said, we are committed to spending this much on players every year above and beyond the revenue sharing in the NIL realm and what have you, Joey McGuire if he was trending for a 7-5, 8-4, even 9-3 season with this roster, when money's not an issue, you can say, well, we can bring in any coach.
Yeah.
And they can do better in terms of making a return on investment. So that's why I do want to give Joey McGuire some credit. I know that they have a loss already on the year. We'll talk about their game against BYU here coming up, but it's not as simple as add money, get good, you're safe. Because
you still got to coach them.
You still got to coach them.
Yeah,
and to his credit, he has.
And you still got to develop them. You still got to put enough pressure on guys that they're the same guys that you look for in the portal. So some people could argue that might be the harder job, because when they're getting paid, the egos are big. I mean, there's got to be guys on the roster that are making more money than.
Well, David Bailey's making about 3.
Yeah, you're making more than most of the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So so that's not just a just an easy job. So, he's done his job, and you got to give him credit, and he's taken, Texas A&M, the heights that nobody thought they
Texas Tech.
Or Texas Tech, excuse me, that the heights that nobody thought they would get to, considering, all right, yeah, you went spending a lot of money. Let's see what you guys do. We still think Iowa State is going to be better than you, Arizona State and other teams.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing dang good football.
We'll talk about just how good a football they're playing as BYU comes to town and a host of other interesting games in college football, including one tonight, potential college football playoff eliminator in the American. We'll talk some Big 12 as well as some SEC and some ACC. Plenty more ahead on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Keep 'em Home reminds listeners that each winter, thousands of seniors suffer from weather-related medical difficulties. If you know a senior living alone or at risk, please check up on them. Make sure their furnace or heater is working properly. What better way to show you care than by taking a senior shopping, even a simple phone call to assure their safety? This reminder is a courtesy of Keep 'em Home, serving our area with pride and integrity, providing in-home care for seniors and disabled individuals who are confined to their homes or need additional aid to complete their daily activities. For more info, call 402-937-7000. That's 402-937-7000. Keep 'em Home, on the air because they care.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's schweisow.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yes, it is. Welcome into Old School Hour 2 here on a Friday. Austin Norman and Husker Hall of Fame, rate your NFL vet Jay Foreman with you for another couple hours. I see a lot of traffic on O Street. Means it's perfect time for you to make sure you find your way to a Mercado by Certified Piedmontese location. 3 of them here in Lincoln. And if you're listening to us on our app or on stream up in Omaha, you get 162nd and Maple up there as well. Jay, let's keep talking some college football here. A lot of interesting games this weekend, including one tonight in the group of 5 ranks. It's appealing because the feature team tonight is the Memphis Tigers, who debuted at number 12 or the 12th seed at the very least in the college football playoff rankings. They will be hosting Tulane coming up at 8. Obviously interesting because Memphis out of the top 25, but still the highest rated group of 5 team, and a Tulane team that got its butt kicked by UTSA last week, and a Tulane team that's really, been one of those teams in the conversation the last couple of years. Of course, when Willie Fritz was in charge, they knock off USC in the Cotton Bowl to take down Lincoln Riley and the Trojans in that game. Really fascinating game. Memphis favored by 3.5, and a big one for the college football playoff race.
Yeah, and I think Memphis coach is going to Arkansas.
Ooh, interesting.
I think that's what they say. He's
Ryan Silverfield.
Yeah, working on a contract, but nobody knows if that's true until it happens. And Tulane is always, they've built themselves up to a powerhouse in that type of realm of college football, and you expected them to win last week. Now you have a must-win for them on the road at Memphis, and Memphis has everything to not only play for, but to defend. Meaning defending their spot into the college football playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how this game goes down. Obviously, if you have YouTube TV, you're not watching it on ESPN, but you can get on the app, right?
Is that you?
Yeah.
That is not me.
I'm about to convert. I can't. This is too long. So it's. I mean, I think I look at all 3 of the games. You start off Houston at UCF. I think that's an interesting game.
Yeah.
Houston's favored on the road. We'll see what Frosty and his boys can do, right?
What even is their record right now? They're sitting at 4-4. Yeah. Okay.
So they got a lot to play for. What's Houston?
They have Houston at Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, and BYU.
So
you need this one in Oklahoma State.
Yeah, to become bowl eligible.
Get bowl eligible. On the flip side of that, Houston sits at 7-2.
So it's going to be a tight game, even though they're favored. And so that's they start off with that and see what Scott Frost can muster up a dub. Then you got Northwestern, who we saw up close and personal, playing USC at USC. USC's playing on a short week, a super short week. You play Saturday night here, you get back there Saturday night probably. So you're playing on Friday night, and here comes a physical team. Now, obviously, I think we're obviously more talented and pose more problems on paper than Northwestern, but Northwestern, if they fix some of the things that they didn't have uptight against Nebraska, and they play as physical with that offensive line and that defensive line, they could pose some problems. I'm going to be really interested in that game that starts at 8:00 and see how they play against USC when USC starts to run counter. I think Northwestern won't play as much man as Nebraska did, so they'll play zone. So I think the passing attack of Jaden Maivia will get off a little bit easier, but they'll try to lean on that run game at home because that's the easy thing to go to when you're on a short week is their run game.
What would be the benefit for Northwestern of going zone as opposed to the man-heavy deal that Nebraska really stifled USC's
I don't think
with?
they have the depth of corners and safeties to be able to match up going deep. I think you can play some man against them, but major in zone. It gets more eyes at the quarterback. In the way Northwestern, if they're playing their zone correctly, they match it up. So you're not really getting a lot of free space. They're not just covering grass. Now, they have to do a better job against the run. Nebraska did well against them against the run, so I expect USC to do the same. So if they're able to do well against the run and then obviously ball control on offense, you're talking about a slugfest just like they did at Penn State. You got to think for Jeff Brown, if you go to Penn State, dub. You go to USC, dub. Those are put your hat on the table type of wins. And so you got, I think for a Friday night, you got some sneaky good games with a lot on the line.
Then we move into Saturday, a really fun Saturday in college football. We talked a little bit about one of these teams to end out last hour. Texas Tech hosting BYU. Both teams ranked in the college football playoff rankings. Both teams would have been in the initial 12-member field. Biggest game, I think, for BYU, Jay, since last year's game at Arizona State. Sun Devils win that one. They're on their late season heater, end up going to the Big 12 championship game and sneaking by Iowa State to win and get to the college football playoff. BYU then beats Houston and Colorado to finish the year at 11-2. Okay, so they have some big game experience. They go back to last year. Yeah, we were in the same situation before. We let ourselves down on the road. We can't be doing that again. On the flip side for Texas Tech, maybe the biggest game for them since Texas came to town in 2008.
Yeah.
Graham Harrell, Michael Crabtree walked off.
And also BYU's quarterback is compromised, right? Is that BYU's quarterback?
So Texas Tech's quarterback Baron Morton was the one that came back from injury last week, but his backup went down. So essentially, you would go from your first string, if anything happens, to the injury-prone Baron Morton to the
this
third
is where
string
Texas Tech's defense and that pass rush has to pay dividends. And this is the biggest game. And I think this game is bigger because of the stakes around this game. 8 versus 7 on the road, essentially winner take all. You really put yourself in the driver's seat after this game. You're at home. Pat McAfee's down there. I saw him with his, he was interviewing Joey McGuire.
Patrick Mahomes is the guest picker.
This is even though Texas Tech probably thought they were going to have a good season, they have had to adjust on the fly with where they're at right now. And so this is an opportunity to, 11 o'clock live on stage. You talking about showing recruits. This is just in the state of Texas.
Right.
Texas is kind of struggling. Nobody's even talking about Texas right now.
Right.
Like the way how they thought they were going to be.
Well, Texas is the third best program in the state right now?
Right.
A&M and Tech are ahead.
Right. So Texas Tech is like, we know we won't play Texas A&M, but we're the best. We got just as much money. So it's going to be interesting. Styles is going to be make this fight. I don't hate to say it, but BYU's been sneaky good the last 3 or 4 years. Just straight up, just silent assassin. We're there and, top 10, top 12. You never expect that out of BYU. And they play with some edge too.
So they were 11-1 in 2020, 10-3 in 2021, 8-5 in 2022. Their first year in the Big 12, they went 5-7. Then the 10-2 regular season last year and off to another 8-0 start this year.
So they have a standard. They have an identity. If you take out the first 5-7 year, that 8-5 is the year it probably felt like the world was ending. That's where we need to get to.
Yeah.
Whereas we're 11-1, 10-2, and then you're 8-5. Like, man, that was horrible. And then you go right back to business, right? Have it like a one-off year in 5-7, right back to business. So they're on the right path, man. I don't know how they do it. They recruit they develop, and I know those, they say those guys are older, but still, to get dudes up there.
To Provo, Utah.
I wish DP
Not even
was
Jay
here.
Foreman would go.
There's not a chance. I could promise you. I shouldn't say never. If it was my only scholarship offer, I would have went.
You'd consider it.
I would have had to go.
Otherwise, Winona State, I'm coming for you.
I would have been
Emporia.
I'd have been at Normandale Community College doing it big, probably getting into some stuff I shouldn't have been getting into. But then I would be at BYU getting into stuff I shouldn't be getting into.
You wouldn't be allowed to.
Yeah, I'd be like your boy AJ Bonanza or whatever his name is. Dog, if he got suspended at half for that, I'd just be done the whole season.
I made a mistake.
Mr. Foreman, you got to go down to the office again. I'll just go right down there. I'm here. I just want to let you know. Try to get some points, cool points. You're
gonna get me anyway, so I turn myself in.
Yeah, don't I? Hey, I'm honest. So
it's the honor code, right? Because being honest.
Yeah, hey, I think when you look at it right now, I'm looking at the schedule, right? I think when you're going, I like to look at the times, right?
Mm.
They're all good games, right? So you got Indiana at Penn State.
Can I say one thing on BYU Texas Tech? Yeah. The pass rush for Texas Tech is a big deal. They're also a top 5 run defense in the country, which to me means Bear Bachmeier is going to be big.
Yeah.
Can he hold up under pressure, and can he get out of some sacks, make some plays with his legs, keep it on the heels? I really think it's a fascinating game. We've seen pass rushes neutralize better offenses than what BYU has. Yeah. I'm surprised the spread is Texas Tech by 10.
You think it should be higher or lower?
Lower. I think it should be one possession-ish.
That is not. If I'm Texas Tech, I'm mad at the odds makers.
Because I think it should be more.
No, I'm mad at the odds makers because you got it higher so high. The BYU is going to come in here mad. I mean, you got
the Undercougs.
Yeah. So you don't want them to be motivated.
You do not. And here they come.
Yeah, because they might be all hopped up on that more energy drink that they got up there that they sell.
The no caffeine, no nicotine energy
drink. But it somehow gives them energy.
It's Michael's secret stuff.
Yeah.
It's water.
I mean, Bailey and Height so it's David Bailey and Romello Height for Texas Tech have to come up big. And then obviously AJ Holmes. Those three have to pass rush and control the line of scrimmage with the crowd noise behind them. And then obviously give the ball to their offense and let them do their things, because I think Texas
Tech, tortillas to snack on.
Man, them tortillas are going to be out there. Did you see them tortillas last year against Colorado?
Yeah, they were out there.
Yeah, so I think I think Texas Tech, man, they've been really good on offense. You got a two-headed monster on the running back position, and then they spread it out, offensively in the pass. So they put a lot of pressure on each other or on BYU, and so, I think Texas Tech is going to win. I just wouldn't if I was a player. I mean, we're cool with the spread, but in this situation, knowing who you're playing, when BYU is motivated and has a chip on their shoulder, they're even a little bit more a little bit better.
Texas A&M at Missouri, number 3 versus number, I think it's 22 in the official college football playoff rankings. Missouri down quarterback Bo Pribula, onto one-time Nebraska target and recruit Matt Zollers as the starting quarterback. We know Missouri led by defense and running back Ahmad Hardy in the backfield. He's right on Emmett Johnson's heels in terms of rushing yards. But, Jay, just like with BYU last year, A&M was in position too. They let it slip at the end of the regular season. They should be favored on the road at Missouri. They are. This is a tricky test for a team that has some demons that's got to fight back.
Yeah, Texas A&M is fighting that. We're the national champion of the first and second, third of the season.
Yeah,
we're the best team right now. Mm-hmm. I guess Ohio State too, but we be in the national championship game.
Yeah,
us and Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to fight. Have we arrived? Can we take our game, our excellent play that got Brian Kelly fired on the road, and we're playing probably, when you look at all the games, the most dangerous team. And they're dangerous in the sense of they're desperate. They have anybody's kryptonite is a defensive line and a defense that's going to bring nothing but hard hats. All right. And they've been bringing it all year, and they're at home.
And who doesn't love going to Columbia, Missouri?
And me. I fertilized. If I went to Columbia, I would wait till the dark and I'd be on their sign again. But That's why I think they're dangerous, because this is their last shot. And Jankiewicz said it. He said, "Listen, we're out of probably the SEC championship, but we're live for the college football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
This is the must-win for Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Their back is against the wall, and they feel like they got hosed against Vanderbilt. It's questionable how their quarterback got hurt, right? A little twisty of the ankle. So they got them at home, and so they're going to have to play a ball game, man. They took Alabama to the very end. They're going to have to do it again at Texas A&M, but they're going to have to pull this bad boy out.
Would love to see what piques your interest after I give you one more game. Florida State and Clemson. Another one that should have been a marquee matchup before the year. But, Jay, right now, even if the coaches aren't saying this, they're thinking to themselves, we can't lose to them this year. They're bad. We can't lose to them this year. It's the toilet bowl. We just got to be less bad than them because they're bad.
This is the life preserver bowl.
I like it.
Whoever loses this is going to need a life preserver to still be a resident at said school.
At ACC HQ.
So they need, Dabo's like, he's playing or he's coaching and wanting his team to play for the pride of Clemson and end on a good note in the respect, because he feels like he's disrespected. He says it, he feels like, you guys even question whether I can coach or not after having, so many, it's disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make sure that he still has the pulse of the team and the respect of the team based on the outburst that he had on the defense last week. Rightfully so, I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely in the right to go and get in him last week, because that was a pathetic effort by some highly touted players. And then you got Florida State, where, you got essentially three potential head coaches with Tony White and obviously, potentially up for UCLA. And, Norvell is, I wouldn't say he's coaching for his job at Florida State, because I don't think financially they can fire everybody, but he's also coaching to get past Game 6 next year.
Right.
And this would be a great win for them to go on the road and beat Clemson at Clemson, no matter what Clemson is playing like in any year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to be expected. They got this is the same talented team that beat the brakes off of Alabama.
And you're not as good as Alabama.
Right. And so you got to go out there and win. And it's a primetime game, 6 o'clock. Clemson's favored. Whatever defense steps up.
You've talked a lot about how when you look at the NFL draft, teams that win get more guys drafted and probably drafted higher.
Yeah, then they probably normally would.
Could have been.
Should, yeah.
We've seen the kind of opposite for Clemson, right? Think about Peter Woods coming into the year, potential top five pick.
Yeah.
Now, still projected first rounder. Avion Terrell, borderline first round pick. He's played his way up some draft boards. Then even as you scroll down, TJ Parker on the edge, right?
Yeah.
That defensive line was supposed to
All
carry
four.
Clemson through. Yeah. All of them were incredibly highly rated and have produced at some points in their college careers. But man, you're 3-5. What, I don't want to say how much harm has it done, because I think NFL teams are smarter than to look at, this team's record wasn't as good, so these players are worse than we thought. You still see the potential in what these guys are doing. But does it give you any pause as an NFL talent evaluator when you see Dabo Swinney needing to get after his guys in college, and like you said, the highly paid, higher profile guys, like, hey, if we're going to be drafting high, they're walking into a similar environment where we haven't done a lot of winning.
Yeah.
How do we prevent, maybe those attitude
to shut
issues?
it down? Yeah. Everything, that comes into the one-on-one interviews. They're going to ask them hard questions. They're going to ask Dabo hard questions. They're going to evaluate the tape, look at it, look at their effort. And depending on what they need and how good of a prospect you are, they'll kind of, that was just, circumstantial. So I would always.
But as a player, you can't allow it to be circumstantial.
No, I would always encourage players never to put bad tape out there, because the bad tape that you might get brushed under the rug the first go round getting drafted, some of those things will never leave you your whole career.
Especially if, like you said, just the second time.
Right. And it'll still be there, but it'll be like, we can coach them out of it. Well, then you go, say you're on your second team or third team and you're trying to figure it out, and it might be just because of injuries or just like not the situation good. They'll question your work ethic all the way back to college based on what you do now. And So you got to make sure that you're looking past the right now and look for the future. Considering this is a business and it's NFL stands for not for long, and you won't be in the NFL long if you display some of the habits that you did in Clemson at times.
Early in the segment, you were about to go window by window. Any other games that stand out to you for the weekend of college football?
Besides the Nebraska UCLA? No,
Obviously.
I'm just playing. A sneaky good game is going to be interesting to see California on the road at Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
California has exceeded my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
So can they go on the road, long trip for them, and can they handle their business?
Wake at Virginia?
Yeah, I was just about to say Wake at Virginia. I think Virginia will handle it, but I think Wake will go up there and be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the other one I had?
Syracuse at Miami? Meh.
Yeah, yes, because Miami's desperate. I expect Miami to get out. Miami's back, but they're halfway back. They're facing some of
they're Mario Cristobal back.
Yeah, they're facing some of the same things Nebraska's facing, but they were ranked right preseason.
Yeah,
so they're able to kind of still be 18. Are you mature enough to handle success? Right, which is beating Notre Dame, continue to move over in right. Are you willing to accept and fall in love with the process, which the process will allow you to be a champion? And then number 3, are you a mature program, right? And number 4, what do you do when the chips are down? So it's kind of the same thing as Nebraska, right? And it's all good because now you've raised the standard and expectations, but they got to answer the bell against a wounded Syracuse team. The other game I was going to talk about is Iowa State at TCU.
Jake says, let's make the trip to Miami, Jay. Last chance.
I'll go. He must be the Bills' chance. Bills playing the Dolphins.
Well, Syracuse at Miami in college football, and then Bills Dolphins
this weekend. Is he still a Dolphin fan?
He's on the Colts bandwagon right now.
Yeah,
I convinced him.
He just trying to go down there and bring bad luck to the Bills, and then therefore I got to deal with Jake for we'll probably mess around and get stuck down there. Yeah.
Just drive it.
He's rooting for a draft pick.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, so
Jake Sorensen, all in on Garrett Nussmeier. You heard it here first.
We got unknown texter 5162. Jay, you're not a fan of the BYU honor code? Negative, Ghost Rider. That pattern is full. Here's an interesting take here. 0639, he says, Texas Tech has the money. Indiana has the coach. I think McGuire's a better coach than what people give him credit for. You got to coach these dudes when you get them, man. I mean, you get some high-priced dudes all out of the portal. You got to coach, and you got to get them to play your way. And you got to have a standard of excellence that they've been able to uphold. So I think he's a good coach.
I think that it wouldn't work as well for Joey McGuire at Texas Tech if he was the X's and O's guys. Sure, if you had, experience on one side of the ball and you're giving your input, sure. But we don't hear a lot about, Joey McGuire is scheming this up. Oh, this is what Joey McGuire's teams are known for. But I think when you think about Joey McGuire being a good coach, keeping those egos in check, it's his emotional intelligence more so than his, football brain power or whatnot.
Yeah, coaching at a big high school in Texas, boy, you've already been to college dealing with some of those people down there and the parents and stuff like that. So
I would say he's a good enough coach.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll
Amplified
see
by
where
money.
He's at. I think he's a good coach. To be an excellent or a great coach, he's going to have to finish. He's going to have to win tomorrow, and he's going to have to continue to win, and then he's going to have to, get him to the finish line, get into college football playoffs. And you can't deny him from that.
Oh, no, absolutely not. And let's not pretend like Indiana doesn't have money all of a sudden.
Yeah,
they started investing. They just gave the dude $11.5 million a year,
and they had money when he got there. They upticked it after they got rid of Tom Allen. So, but Kirk Cignetti is a good coach, and his message hasn't changed since he even back in Elon. So, also one more text before we go to break. Gus Mohawk says, do you put a spy on Nico? He has some legs. Yeah, you got to do spies. You got to have sometimes you got to spy him. Sometimes you got to mush rush him. And that's just, you rush, through your offensive lineman and stay alive. And so he can't escape to his right. The defense's left. That's where he's really dangerous. So yeah, you got to mix it up. You can't go out there and play one type of coverage, one type of spy or blitz technique. You got to keep him confused. You got to move. And then make sure you make plays when you get a chance.
Let's not skip the second part of that question. Were you ever asked to spy a quarterback?
Yeah, a couple of times. We switched off. It was Michael Bishop.
I was really hoping you were going to say Michael Vick.
Heck no.
I was really hoping you were going to say Michael Vick.
I told you about when we played Michael Vick. He sent that dude, Brian, I forget his name, Brian like Adams or something. He sent him in to the mental coach. Michael Vick did him. I'm serious.
I believe you. It's just funny to hear.
Yeah, it was on like remember ESPN Primetime?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was when Michael Vick was in Atlanta and he was up at the Vikings, and they said that
send a dude to therapy.
Yeah, therapy, because he'd always run his mouth like, to other linebackers. No, I didn't spy on Vick, but we played Michael Vick. I was like, this brother he's faster than I thought he was. Michael Bishop a little bit. I wish I would have done that a little bit more than when we did it to Corby Jones after he got off against us and different guys. Donovan McNabb, I got picked up a sack against him.
Nice.
In Philly. There's a couple other. We didn't really have a lot.
Did you get Dante when he was here at UFC or UCF?
Yeah, me and Jason Peter had to take. Boy, that was a big. I remember my dad telling me the night before the game. I'd see him before I go to the hotel, and we were playing UCF, and he was like, "Hey man, I'm telling you," he's like, "Them Florida boys," he's like, "Don't sleep on them. They're gonna come ready to play." And they had the whole story of, remember how like Florida State came here and did well against Nebraska, and that was the start of the program. That was the same thing this week. And they were talking about how big Dante was. And you'd see him on tape and he was big, but you just couldn't really tell like he was that big because the tape wasn't that good.
Oh, sure.
And actually their starting left tackle was one of my roommates at the combine, and he was big. He was like 6'5", about 335. Hey man, when that dude came out there 6'5", 260 or whatever, 255, running that thing. Yeah, we came and we ran a couple stunts. I hit him low. Jason, took him up by the head rack. But see, against big quarterbacks though, my dad always told me this, and my uncles did too. When they want to run, man, you got to make them pay for it. And so you start lighting them legs up, them shins and them thighs. They ain't going to be shaking so much. So, yeah, Dante was a big dude. He was a really big dude. Good quarterback. We used to play basketball in the offseason.
Could he hoop?
Yeah, he could hoop. He could block. Yeah, he could take it. He would get underneath the hoop and do work.
Like Charles Barkley mold power forward type?
So, like when we play in the offseason, when I go back to Minnesota play in the offseason, because I lived right where the Vikings were. It was me, Dante Culpepper, Talent Sawyer, who was a DN who had like a 45-inch vertical. Randy Moss, my man Kenny Wright, we used to call him K-Dub, Kevin Garnett, and then he would only come like every once in a while, and then he'd bring all his like cronies. So we play them. A couple other like Vikings, Robert Tate, he could really hoop. And we get after it a little bit. Kylie Wong used to, try to hoop, Gabe Norris. They couldn't, they get the angle. That's
emphasis on tried.
Yeah. Kevin Lynch, he came up in there, got, he got that work.
Hum.
Yeah. Yeah. He got that work. Yeah. He got caught slipping. You remember Randy Brewer?
I remember the name.
Yeah. He played for the Timberwolves. It wasn't me, but he got dunked on. I think it was either Randy Moss or Chris Carter. And I was like, dog, you are 7 feet tall. All right. 7 feet tall, long arms.
Mm-hmm.
And these dudes are dunking on you. Because those dudes, like Chris Carter could hoop.
I mean, it's one thing if you're saying they were going to get dunked on by, no disrespect, like Adam Thielen. But like, this is Randy Moss and Chris Carter we're talking about. I feel less bad.
At 7 feet tall?
Jay, it's Randy Moss and Chris Carter. Like, I get it, basketball's Randy Brewer's sport.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to get dunked on by someone from outside, at least it's a freak.
Fine.
Yeah. It's not better, but it's maybe a little better.
Not the way he got dunked on. When he looked at
disrespectful.
him. Yeah, he looked at him and
sent him to therapy.
Yeah. Randy Brewer came back though, but he had the little sky hook. He didn't have any explosiveness.
Well, you get what you get.
Yeah.
We go to break. We'll be back talking some NFL when you get back to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Chorizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Chorizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through November 9th, enjoy USDA Choice Boneless Chuck Roast, $6.99 per pound. USDA Choice Whole Beef Brisket, $4.99 per pound. 10-pound tubes of 80% lean ground beef, $3.99 per pound. And Busch Light 30 racks, $17.99 each when you buy 2. Call ahead now to reserve your fresh turkey for Thanksgiving. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I Parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I Parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we are on Old School. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman halfway home on a Friday. Let us know if you're on your way home from work, headed to some state football, maybe state volleyball, all sorts of fun stuff going on in the LNK and surrounding area here tonight. This segment of the show brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while still keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info, 402-430-3852, or visit them online, heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Jay, interesting weekend in the NFL as well as in college football. Handful of games that stood out to me. Obviously, the Colts and the Falcons will be playing the first game in Germany. That'll be interesting. No DeForest Buckner for the Colts. He got put on IR with a neck injury. So DeForest Buckner out, Sauce Gardner in for the Colts. Last game for them ahead of their bye week that'll be coming up before they take on the Chiefs on the 23rd of November. One game that stood out to me in the early slate, Giants and Bears. Giants obviously lose Scatterboo to the ankle injury, but I think these are two teams heading in a similar direction, right? Dable's the established head coach. You look at Ben Johnson, the brand new head coach. Bears maybe a little bit ahead of the Giants right now with what they were able to do in the last couple of NFL drafts. But I think these two teams are somewhat of a similar position, right? Building toward the playoffs, young quarterbacks, interesting play callers around them. I think they both got to get a lot better on the defensive side of the ball. All their exciting pieces, really with the exception of like Abdul Carter for the Giants, seem to be on the offensive side of the ball for two franchises that haven't really been known for offense before.
Yeah, I think it's also a contrast, and the Bears defense has a lot of really good young pieces, right? So they have to gel, right? You got to have patience.
Sure.
And then the whole team, right? And they got to kind of come together. And it obviously it's centered around Caleb Williams' growth, but that's still yet to be determined. But when you look at the Giants, I think on the flip side, they invested a lot of money in their defensive line, and Lawrence, Burns, Abdul Carter, and
Kayvon
Thibodeau. And I'm sure they paid a couple of their defensive backs. So they need more production out of that defense, especially that defensive line. It got to the point to where Carl Banks, who was a really good Giants linebacker that does some radio for him, he called out Dexter Lawrence. Nobody respects you anymore. You got paid, now nobody's respecting you to make them feel you. So it'll be interesting that game to see how the Giants approach attacking Caleb Williams in this offense that has shown the last couple of weeks to score points. It also to be interesting to see. Now we got more than 3 games on Jackson Dart, how teams defend him here moving forward, because he's been obviously Mr. Excitement. His frat bro is obviously unfortunately injured, but he's able to make a lot of lemonade out of lemons, considering that Neighbors is out and Scatterboo's out.
Yeah.
But he's been still very, very productive. So
he's got Wan'Dale Robinson. What more does he need?
Yeah. Wan'Dale's doing well. As long as he's healthy, he's going to be productive. So I just think it's going to be the battle of quarterbacks. Who does the best job of not hurting their team early, and then who can make that play down the stretch.
Mentioned the Bills at the Dolphins coming up. Baltimore at Minnesota might be worthy of a watch. Cleveland at the Jets, probably not. But then, Jay, one of the most fascinating games of the weekend to me, the Brady Bowl. New England goes on the road to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
That's a fascinating game for me.
Yeah, it's a really good game, and because Drake May has been emerging as a legit quarterback, a potential franchise quarterback, and Mike Vrabel's he's came in and done what he's always done. He's winning. He's teaching these guys how to win. He's coaching them a little different than Bill Belichick obviously did, and is obviously working like gangbusters up there in New England. Now they're going down to Tampa, and obviously they're playing Baker Mayfield and company, but they're playing a really good defense that's coming off a bye week. More importantly, they're where Drake May say against Buffalo and all that, those are opponents they don't have a lot of history of playing each other, and they don't know each other very well. More importantly, Drake May has never met Mr. Todd Bowles and his defense yet. He will meet him. He will meet him very shortly. I think Tampa pulls it out, but I think New England will give them all their a run for their money.
It's really been the story of the year for Tampa Bay. They find a way to pull it out in the end. They're 6-2, a point differential of just plus 19 on the year. That's a little bit worse than Philly, who's 6-2 with a plus 23. And then you look at the AFC. I mean, Indy leads with a plus 109. Pittsburgh, that's another game we're going to get to here in a sec, plus 7. And the Patriots in their 9 games are a plus 68 overall. The Sunday night game is the Steelers at the Chargers. The Steelers 2 games up on Baltimore for the lead in the AFC North. The Chargers are a game and a half back of the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos with the NFL's best record after a Thursday night win that we'll talk about a little bit in our next segment. They sit at 8-2, perfect at home, but Los Angeles plays host to Pittsburgh. Again, kind of an interesting matchup. We get the old gun in Aaron Rodgers, younger gun there in Justin Herbert. I don't know what to make of this Chargers team. Plus 22-point differential, 6-3, second in the division, a game up on Kansas City right now. I feel like I should be more bought into them. Maybe I have some recency bias with what Pittsburgh did to Indianapolis last week. Probably the best performance Pittsburgh's defense has shown all year. Definitely the worst showing that the Colts offense has had all year. I think these are two teams that want to do some similar things, though.
Yeah, and the thing is with the Chargers, they were really good last year, consistent, kind of like, all right, Jim Harbaugh is doing his thing, so you expect a little bit more. And it hasn't been like the offense hasn't been, productive. Obviously Herbert had a really good game, or at least first half against the Colts, and then obviously the defense has done well at times. I think the biggest thing for them, the injury bug has hit them, and so they haven't been able to be as consistent.
Both tackles out, obviously.
And Khalil Mack is kind of, getting back. And they were let Bosa go, who's obviously at Buffalo. And so I think the biggest thing they have to do is just get healthy, and then they'll be able to, go handle business.
They're down Slater and Alt for the rest of the year, which is why they swing that trade for Trevor Penning, who hasn't been overly effective as a tackle in the NFL, the guy from Northern Iowa that the Saints draft.
Yeah, and for him, it's been more behavioral stuff and being able to be, trusted to do, the things you need to do within the whistle. So if they can, and also listen, there's not a better place to go than the Chargers. Harbaugh, he'll find a place, and if you're productive, you'll get paid. And you got to think also Becton, the big signing from Philly, has been in and out of the lineup too. So that's kind of hurt them more than anything.
That's right. Derek in the car says Chargers got it going now, 3-0 in the AFC West, but a bad loss to the New York Giants. Cubsker says SoFi Stadium, AK Shore, Acrisure at West. And then he also wants to know if I convinced Jake to be on the Colts bandwagon before or after what the Steelers did to the Colts last week. The answer is before. Jake had been talking for a few weeks about he was in on the Colts, Super Bowl champs, all that. So Jake Sorensen did levy the curse on the Colts verbally. He did not go see them. He has set foot in Lucas Oil Stadium for Big Ten Media Days, and I have not. So they are double cursed by Jake Sorensen. I'm hoping that ends up balancing out at some point. I'm not sure that it will. The other couple games, though, that stand out to me, Jay, come from the only division in football where all 4 teams have a positive point differential. The leader in the NFC West, Seattle, 6-2, plus 81. The Los Angeles Rams, 6-2, they're plus 82. The San Francisco 49ers, just a half game back of those two at 6-3. They're plus 6 in point differential. And then the Arizona Cardinals, fresh off a Monday night football win over the Dallas Cowboys, are plus 9. In the NFC West this week, you do end up getting Arizona at Seattle and Los Angeles at San Francisco. Still a long way to go in that NFC divisional race. Cardinals don't really feel out of it after a surprising-ish win against Dallas. But man, it is a legit, 3.5 team race in the NFC West. We'll get a little separation this week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes down the stretch, because you're kind of all doing the same thing. Nobody's doing it, like, obviously, to the magnitude that they need. And whoever, I look at it like when you're at this part of the NFL, and obviously, the little player of experience that I had in Buffalo and in the Giants and stuff, is that it's a 3-game race. These next 3 games are huge. Because if you can go 2-1, you got to expect everybody else goes 1-2, and somebody's going to go 0-3. Now you're really sitting in the driver's seat, and obviously you got to look at the home the home and away, and how you do within your conference. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do within that division and how much they come out of their beat up, when they try to go. I mean, it's one thing to win your division, but it's how you win it. Are you coming right down and you're just, just barely breathing at the end? Or are you, not that you need to coast through it, are you healthy? Are you efficient? You can play well in the NFL and lose a game.
Yeah.
And then you continue to win, and then you start to keep that rhythm, and maybe you're a wild card instead of, first round bye, you end up winning the Super Bowl. So whoever comes out of the division or whatever team or two needs to be healthy and have a leg up.
Saw this from Dan Orlovsky yesterday. It would have been Matthew Stafford has now started 240 games in the NFL. Jay, guess how many times Matthew Stafford has had a player on his team rush for 100 yards out of 240 starts?
Let me see.
Don't forget, he did start his career in Detroit, where there's a lot of losing.
Yeah, so they weren't running it well. 24 times.
Great guess, 25.
Yeah.
One in every 10 games, Matthew Stafford gets a 100-yard rusher. I'm a little surprised this year that number hasn't been more. I was all aboard the Kyren Williams breakout train.
Yeah. He got paid, too.
He did get paid. I expected a little bit more than what they've gotten out of him, but even with Cooper Kupp gone, Devontae Adams has fit in pretty seamlessly, and that offense just keeps humming, in large part thanks to a top 5 MVP candidate right now in Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, and you got to think, they were contemplating trading him.
Guy had a Baki back to start the year.
Yeah, and he was on a pitch count in training camp, and really came down to the final hours whether he's going to make the first game. So, good on him. I like it for him. He served his time in Detroit. He's done really well. He never really had a chance to play on a playoff team, and obviously went and got a Super Bowl. But he's now providing leadership. So you got to give him credit. And he's in the MVP race. Sean McVay was head over heels for him, and it's definitely working out for him.
We'll go to break. We'll talk some Thursday night football. A disgusting game. Just how bad was it? We got some numbers. We'll tell you about it. We'll try to hold in our lunch as we talk about it. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, wrapping up hour 2 of Old School in a sec.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock. Perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we are wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you, 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. Don't forget, you can be a part of the show all night long, 402-464-5685 on our starter Heyman Jewelers text line. This segment brought to you by Love Volleyball Nebraska, getting underway here in about a month and a half or so. Love Volleyball Nebraska rebrands from Love Volleyball Omaha. To learn more, you can visit lovb.com. Get your season tickets, renew them, all that good stuff, all at one spot, lovb.com. Jay, I found this from Off the Stats regarding last night's Thursday night football game, if you want to call it that. Only 2 times in the last 40 years, I tell you, only twice, has an NFL team had a game with 10 or more penalties committed than points scored, more penalties committed than first downs gained, gone an entire quarter without a first down, had fewer than 100 rushing yards, fewer than 150 passing yards, and missed a field goal. What if I told you one of those teams was the Denver Broncos last night? And what if I told you the other one of those teams was the Las Vegas Raiders last night?
Listen, I watched that game, and it was like...
I'm so sorry for your eyeballs.
It was like, hey, it's a Thursday night game. You're just like, when are you guys going to get it going? When are you going to get it? And they never did. I mean, it was the ugliest game, and there's no way. I know Sean Payton a little bit, and I know the standard that he tries to uphold his team to. I can guarantee you that day after meetings, I don't know if they watched the film today. It's ugly because I saw a stat. Denver up until last night had 8 penalties.
All year?
I think, or maybe whatever the stat was. They had 9 at like halftime. And so maybe it wasn't all year, but it was like maybe the last like 3 games or something. They had like 9. They had more penalties in a half of football than they had all year. And so for any coach that's trying to, they're leading the division comfortably, but they got 2 more against the Chiefs. And you cannot play like that offensively and think you're going to be, you're going to mess around, get a bye week and be home.
Right.
With that type of offense. And Bo Nix was, handpicked by Sean Payton, and he's not playing very good right now. He's getting away with it because the defense, but more importantly, they need to get better. They got weapons. They got Dobbins. They have a really good offensive line, really good young receiving core. You got Sutton is their number 1 guy, and they are not playing good at all.
The only other game that I can remember on Thursday Night Football that comes close to matching how bad this one was the Broncos versus the Colts on Thursday Night Football when Joe Flacco started for the Colts. Ended up 12-9. I think like 3 missed field goals in that game. So something about Thursday Night Football. Sometimes it's wildly entertaining. Certainly a close game, a 10-7 game. But yeah, Bo Nix, 16 of 28, a tutty, 2 picks, 150 yards. Geno Smith, 16 of 26 with an interception. Ashton Genty, just over 3 yards a pop at 19 for 60. J.K. Dobbins ran for 77 yards. Tyler Lockett led the way, 5 catches for 44. yards for him. Pat Bryant, I'm interested to see what kind of role there is for Pat Bryant in Denver too. We know what he looks like in orange and blue coming out of Illinois. I like him. I think that's a good player. Yeah. I think that's an interesting kind of longer term ad for Denver.
Yeah, I think he could kind of move into Sutton's role, and then they have Franklin as well. So I think they got a nice core, and they got Evan Ingram as a tight end.
That's right.
He's one of the fastest tight ends in the league, and got signed a big contract with Jacksonville. Had a great year, and so you get more than that's what's so disappointing about this offense is that you have all the pieces that you need to be, more than competitive and successful, and you're out here, kicking the rocks around and doing all that. So it'll be interesting to see, how they make adjustments and know what Sean Payton comes up with a little bit of a mini bye week. You play early, can get back to the lab, but they got to get Bo Nix and that offense going. And it's not, we got to ramp up to it. You got to get it going now, or it's going to be a disappointing season for Denver.
If you look at just raw points scored, just in the AFC here, so the Colts have scored 290. Then you go to the New England Patriots with 237. In now 10 games, the Broncos have scored 235 points, so 23.5 points per game on the schnoz. Some other teams in that exact same number, Jay, Buffalo has scored 235 points in 8 games as opposed to in 10 games. You look then at Kansas City, who scored 235 points in 9 games. So raw points, Denver's right there. Problem is they've played an extra game or two, which really balances out those overall numbers.
And when they're playing good, they're good. When they're playing bad, they're horrible. And also when they've been playing good, it came in like 2-quarter spurts. Yeah. And so this is like the Bo Nix, this is a roller coaster with this dude. I mean, some of the things that he was drafted number 12 for, and he was probably by everybody else's projections, he got drafted a little bit too high, was his fundamentals and being accurate with the football. That dude is not even – there was a stop route that they tried to throw. He threw it to, like, way back to where the guys were sitting there getting Gatorade.
Right.
So, he's in a little bit of a funk right now, and he needs to get back to work even though you're winning. And that's the thing that's obviously interesting. You could talk about Nebraska, where you're at, and then, how you win. It's the process-oriented teams that win championships. Because if you fall in love with being 8-2 with how you've been playing, you will be one of those teams that's the number 1 seed or whatever they would be, and you're one and done. And you're like, well, what happened? Well, they got to fix their process. Bo Nix and Sean Payton need to get on the same page, or he needs to play better, whatever it is, and start to understand there's something off in your preparation. There's something off that you're doing because you don't look nearly as good as you did last year, and it's not because they're confusing you.
No.
Yeah, so
you're just missing.
Yeah, you're just missing.
I didn't save it. I should have. In a moment of oversight, I can admit I goofed on this now, but I saw someone was graphing completion percentage over expected, and then how many yards essentially a quarterback has left on the field.
Oh,
Bo Nix by leaps and bounds, like 4 times as many yards left on the field as any other quarterback.
He got a full season of yards left on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They say, he threw for 3,200 yards. Bo Nix is like left 3,200 yards out there and about 4 touchdowns. So he's in a little bit of funk, but you know what? It's all worth it if he gets it back on track and they start really rolling. So they got to be happy that they won. Probably not happy how they won. But they got to get it going. It's going to be tough because you're going to play Kansas City twice, and that defense is packing, whether they're home or away. And, you got the Chargers one more time, and you got everybody else trying to knock you off. And so you can't depend on that pass rush, even though it's the best in the league. You have to start creating your own opportunities by scoring points and touchdowns.
That you do. We'll keep talking some more football, plenty more on the docket. We got hour 3 of Old School next here on The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, a few sprinkles possible. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds and breezy conditions with a high near 66. Tonight, a slight chance of showers, otherwise partly cloudy, a low around 42. And tomorrow, a chance of showers in the morning, otherwise decreasing clouds and windy, with a high near 54. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, 5 o'clock hour? Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School, live in effect, 1040 O Street. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Inca Hill, 85th and Andermatt / Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. One more time for you this week. I'm going to get right to it. I got to find where I sent it to Austin. Got the read here.
Got a chance to meet Minnesota's second finest.
Yeah. He can be Minnesota's finest. He keeps playing. So Husker fans, don't miss your chance to meet Emmett Johnson, running back from Nebraska, a.k.a. the present-day Minnesota's finest. 7:30 at the Courtyard by Marriott in downtown Lincoln. Entry is 100% free, but they will have official Emmett Johnson merch and officially licensed Nebraska merchandise available to purchase as well. It's a rare in-season meet and greet with Nebraska running back Emmett Johnson Wednesday, November 12th, 7:30 p.m. at the Courtyard by Marriott in downtown Lincoln. Is great. I can tell you this right now. Take his play on the field out. Emmett's a good kid. Definitely has made the most of his opportunity and very humble in doing so. So look, during the season, it's a bye week. He's built his brand, and I like it. I like how he's built his brand. He's built his brand on the field first, and is able to grow it off the field. And he's very marketable as well. His personality and stuff, and he's a great representation of the football team in Nebraska. So, next Wednesday, 7:30, probably for 2 or 3 hours, you get a chance to meet him, shake hands with him and take pictures, but then more importantly, support him and buy some of his merch. So, I might pop down there and see if I'm gonna tell him, look, man, I need the OG hookup. That is free, not just playing. No, I pay it. I buy it for him. So, anyways, Austin, I want to get into. We got the pregame show all day tomorrow. The next segment we'll do Husker prediction because we got through all our games. But I want to talk. We'll just talk a little bit of Husker / Cincinnati. I sent it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati's athletic director. Now I wonder. Now, conspiracy theorists will tell you this: him and what is the Big 12 commissioner have Nebraska ties. Right?
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati's athletic director went to Nebraska. The Big 12 commissioner is Creighton alum. And so behind the story is I sent Austin this link to the story of did Cincinnati's athletic director fumble the chance to get to the college football playoffs by playing Nebraska, essentially giving Nebraska a home game in Kansas City for an extra $2 million?
Mm-hmm.
When we were originally supposed to play them in Indianapolis, somehow Kansas City became available, and it was a cold call that, according to this article, and two Nebraskaites get in cahoots with regular Nebraska, and Nebraska ends up having a home game, a big win to start the season in Kansas City. Nobody probably thought Cincinnati would have took off from that beatdown. It might come back to bite them in the butt.
It very well might. I will say it would be a major knock on Nebraska if it was still viewed as a damaging loss to someone's college football playoff chances, because we knew going into the year for Cincinnati, the best way to make sure you go into the college football playoff is to win your conference. They've fallen a step behind your BYUs and your Texas Techs.
Yeah.
Not far behind, but far enough behind. We've seen other teams back out of games, like that. Probably way too short a notice to be able to do that.
Right.
But also, Cincinnati could have said, no, we're good. Let's keep it in Indy. This was supposed to be originally a home and home series. Cincinnati was supposed to come to Lincoln the year after they made the college football playoff. I believe it was.
Yeah.
Cincinnati could have said, no, let's meet somewhere closer in the middle. It is a little confusing.
Where could that have been?
Well, it was already scheduled in Indy.
Yeah, but besides Indy.
Could you have done?
Now, why was the reason that it wasn't in Indy?
That I don't know. All I heard was it was an Indian, then all of a sudden it's not. It's getting moved to Arrowhead. I'm not privy to any of those discussions as to why it got moved. Could you have done Soldier Field? Could you have met in, I don't know, Nashville? Could you have done St. Louis?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe for Brett Yormark, it was a way to, because Kansas City is still Big 12 HQ.
Yeah.
They can, Frisco,
yeah.
whatever. No, Kansas City is Big 12 headquarters. It's
Yeah.
kind of the heartbeat of it, especially now that it's going from Morgantown, West Virginia, all the way to Tempe, Arizona, or Tucson, Arizona, whichever one's further out there. So I think it does make sense to bring a Big 12 team to a Big 12 city, but it makes sense if that Big 12 team is Kansas State or Kansas or Iowa State. You knowingly put your team at a disadvantage, which if you think
$2 million,
for $2 million, if you think you're a playoff team, sure, we'll go play in conference headquarters. We'll go impress the brass and put on a good show. We'll be fine. But you had to know Nebraska fans were going to travel. You had to know it was going to turn into a Nebraska home game very quickly. And yet, despite all of that, Cincinnati had every opportunity to win that game.
Yeah, they did. And Satterfield, their coach, seemed a little, he kind of hinted at the AD's decision after the game. I will say I don't think he called the game well, offensively, but it worked out to Nebraska, so I'm all for it.
But he also didn't know at that point Nebraska was going to be so porous against the quarterback run. I
was just talking about the first third down when they had momentum going straight ahead, and you threw like a little now to the slot against the aggressive defense. That was not very good in some other ones, but he was on somewhat of the hot seat this year. Coming in, it was whether that Nebraska loss was like a lost opportunity to keep his job, and obviously they took off from there. And I think the best way Nebraska can pay back Cincinnati for allowing Cincinnati giving Nebraska a home game is Nebraska wins these next 3 games.
Yeah, fair.
That's the best way that Nebraska can,
say thank you very much.
Thank you very much and they got $2 million extra out of it. It's just really interesting when you think of those decisions, and I'm sure he's looking at budget, he's looking at rev sharing and all that, and they're getting an extra $2 million. Probably coming off last year, didn't expect this team to be this good.
Right.
They lost a lot of offensive players outside of their quarterback, and also they lost, I think, their starting running back, got a linebacker drafted. So he's probably like, hey, look, an extra $2 million doesn't hurt anybody, as long as we're competitive. And then now after that, you take that loss against Nebraska, and might be some buyer's remorse if you don't get in.
Because you know what is a bigger check than a $2 million check from Arrowhead Stadium?
What?
That sweet, sweet college football playoff appearance money.
I know.
That was more than a $2 million check.
Yeah,
but again, you can't bank on that. You can't assume that. You can bet on your team, but you were in no position.
Yeah, they weren't they were 5-7 the year before.
Yeah. You knew Sorsby was good. You didn't know just how good he was going to be.
They lost a lot, and we'll see. We got an unknown texter, 9079, said Arrowhead offered Cincinnati a guarantee that's substantially better than Indy. I believe the guarantee was more than double. Yeah, that's where it was $2 million, probably in Indy, $4 million. So you got to do what you got to do. Helps out. But if Cincinnati handles their business, they probably should, be able to squeak their way in.
Let's flip this around then.
Yeah.
How big an opportunity did Nebraska miss after beating Cincinnati? Could that have been a win that propelled Nebraska into, say, where USC is in the college football playoff rankings
well,
right now?
I mean, that's what it wasn't a miss until you lost to USC.
Sure.
Minnesota too, but USC was winner take all.
It was.
So
Nebraska didn't make the most of the gift that Cincinnati gave it.
Yeah. So you essentially almost fumbled the gift, Minnesota, to put Michigan to the side because, I don't think that was the Michigan or Minnesota game.
You lose 1-2 to Michigan or USC, you're not hosed by any means.
But then you had winner take all.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably missed on that because Cincinnati levels you up. You beat USC. Mm-hmm. It's a name brand. And then you got to expect Iowa to be ranked by the time we play them. And if you go and just look aesthetically pleasing against UCLA and Penn State, you right in the driver's seat. You would have all of Husker Nation. Just, obviously this is not the case, but just imagine how much traction on social media Husker fans would be going at the college football playoff committee, the media personalities that control the airwaves. I mean, they would be Desmond Howard would be. He'd probably get off Twitter. He's like, I'm
Straight
taking
up.
a break. Yeah. So I mean,
Where would 8-1 Nebraska be ranked right now in the college football playoff rankings?
8-1. So that
let's
means
say that
so
you
the only loss is
you beat Minnesota and then you lose to either Michigan or USC. Either one.
Well, you want to at this point you want to lose to Michigan because they're not very good.
Right. You've had more time to climb.
So yeah, so your most recent game is on national TV and you beat USC, who was ranked.
Let's say you even have a late touchdown drive from TJ Lateef to win at 24-21.
18 and above easily. You would have been ranked by well, you were ranked going into Minnesota.
Yeah.
So you were what, 25?
Yeah.
So you beat Minnesota. Say you just kind of get your promotion fee of validating that ranking. You go to 23.
Mm-hmm. Beat number 20 USC, I believe it was 22, something like that.
You go to 18 at least.
Mm.
And who knows who would dookie in their diapers and around there.
Well, that would have been AP poll. Who knows about college football playoff? I mean, 2-loss Vandy. Would Nebraska be ahead of 2-loss Vandy? Probably not.
Tony Petitti better make sure they are.
Right?
Hey, my man Troy Dannon in there. Hey.
So if Nebraska had beat USC, how close would Nebraska be to Oregon, I guess, is the question. I mean, Oregon really only has one impressive victory on the year.
But they get a little bit of benefit of the doubt.
They do. That's fair.
They'd be close, but then they would always be wanting Nebraska to validate it. That's why then you would have to beat UCLA and then let the storm start to really fester
during
the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Penn State, aesthetically pleasing.
You're licking your lips for that one.
Yeah, and then you're just like, against Iowa, we just got to win by like 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get in because everybody in the state of Nebraska is going to go.
Right?
Yeah, they're going to take all week. They're going to just take, hey, I'll 2026, 2 weeks off, and 27, we're off. We're just going.
93.7, the ticket would be on air barely.
Yeah.
We leave one person back here. You run the board 24 hours. The rest of us are out of here.
It'd be the best, though, for all December and January. So, yeah, it was a missed opportunity, but we'll see if Cincinnati missed the opportunity.
It feels like, okay. It feels like maybe a short-term missed opportunity, but still a big-picture win for Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. And then all the what-ifs is based on Cincinnati really outkicking their coverage as far as beating the expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, the coach even said so. He looked dumbfounded at that game. He looked like, I don't know how we're going to win more games. Now, they beat the brakes off of Iowa State and all that stuff, and they continue to play good. So, I don't know. I think it's it was a good move by Cincinnati. At the time, I don't know what their budget is. You can't turn your nose up at $2 million. Kind of figured they were going to have the same amount of fans anyways. Why not? But it's just interesting. And then, you got that stuff coming down the pipe. And how, you got the first college football playoff rankings. And how does that affect how people coach this weekend in players' play?
Right.
Because if you're feeling the pressure, then you're going to be tight. And then you're going to either be over-aggressive or under-aggressive. And you might shoot yourself in the foot.
007 says, I really like this hypothetical story for Nebraska a lot better. It was right there for Nebraska. It's still, a successful enough season through 9 games. Not perfect, but, it's hard to say Nebraska is too far behind schedule. They're certainly not ahead of schedule.
They are.
Being 8-1 would have been being ahead of schedule.
They would have been way ahead of schedule. They would have answered every metric that you'd wanted. Mature, explosive, dominating, consistent. Jinx. And you know what I mean? So so they would have been way ahead. Now I think 6-3 is probably right where they're supposed to be, a half a step behind. Right? They probably should be 7-2. But they aren't. They're still 6-3.
Win one of the 3.
Yeah. The Minnesota one is probably the biggest eyesore because it came down to what you can control. Now they can control how they handle business the next 3. And I said 8 is what you needed this year. minimum. 9, you'd be on target. You might even get a little bit of uptick from me because the quarterback's hurt. But more importantly, I think when you look overall as a program for the last 3 years, or 2 and some change, is consistently got better and is way better in year 3 than year 1.
Yeah.
Now, I think what happened is this offseason, with all the attention, both locally and nationally, on social media and all that stuff, which rightfully so, if you want to up your clicks as a national guy, you just put out an article on Nebraska or say something bad about Nebraska, you're going to get but Nebraska had a lot of offseason attention based on, the way that they, I guess won a bowl game, finally got to a bowl game. You bring the quarterback back, and obviously, and then you have a lot more talent around him. You go in the portal, and the schedule is very gettable. On paper, it was a very, opportune time. So
let's jump off on that real quick, because I think that Dylan Raiola, we can say this since the season's over now, got a little bit better.
Yeah.
He didn't sophomore slump by any means.
No.
He didn't regress. Sure, there are areas we've talked about a lot on this show, a lot on the station. A lot of people have texted and called and commented about it. Dylan Raiola, at the very least, staved off the sophomore slump. He was at least the same quarterback he was as a freshman. I know a lot of people complain about his mobility, his escapability. I think he got better at that. There were some sacks against Michigan I didn't see him getting out of, right? He did tuck and run a couple times. No, it's still not pretty. I think he got better there. I mean, 75% completion essentially for the year. Yeah. Sure, still plenty that he has to work on. But Nebraska taking either a huge jump or a huge fall, I think in a lot of ways was going to be tied to, did Dylan Raiola take a huge jump or a huge fall? We know they upgraded the talent around Dylan Raiola in a lot of ways. But for Nebraska to be 6-3 right now, it kind of felt like Dylan Raiola had played a 6-3 year.
Yeah, I can see where you get that. I mean, I think, when you're the quarterback, you get all the accolades and all the blame. So I think he's better than last year. Still needs to improve on stuff. He knows that, and it's just up to him to go do that. But then also, as he improves, everybody else has to, you need everybody else to do that at the same time and at the same rate. So, it's an offensive thing. The sacks are an offensive thing. I mean, there's some that's on Dylan, some on the running back, some on the receivers, on the offensive line. There's not just one guy, giving up those sacks. So that's the eyesore. And I think, Nebraska over the history, over probably since like I was playing, the offensive line hasn't really been dominant. I know they've had little spurts here and there. So it's always they're the easiest to blame. They're the biggest guys out there, and they've had some troubles in the past. But I think with Dylan and where the team is, they're making progress. I think people wanted a huge leap based on the offseason, the schedule, and then when you're like out there, then people like they aren't being, the fans aren't realistic. They're just going off of what whoever reposted and then quoted it, after they see something, right? So it's kind of like the telephone game. The story gets bigger and better and or worse and worse and worse every time. So as it started to kind of get passed around, you had these expectations that, that they had to reach to, and it was varied by the fan and the media person, whereas you just needed to focus on the process and the standard. Now, the fans aren't privy to that, but that's where the team needed to work at.
Going into the year, if I told you that Nebraska completed 72% of its passes, had a 1,000-yard rusher for the first time since 2018 in Divine Azigbo, and was scoring 33 points per game, would you have taken those numbers at the start of the year?
Yeah. We talked about that. What do they need to average per year? What do they need to score per game? You would have took it. I think it's just more having the continuity. All three phases has had their day in the sun, obviously. But you needed it to. This is the part of championship football that you can't predict. You need them all kind of to flow together.
Yeah.
And there's times. So there's a couple times. There'll be times, during the season where one is like stuck in neutral, while the other two are in overdrive. Well, then the one in neutral automatically gets into second gear. That's good enough.
Yeah.
So you got to get that going. Look, when you start as a freshman and you have a 12 games worth of tape, 13 with the bowl game, they study you.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the season gets longer in your second season, they've been able to study your offense and your offensive tendencies and you as well. That's what you're facing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what you're facing. So that's why the little things are the utmost importance. That's why the fundamentals on all three phases are the most important, because you have to be able to do those correctly. And then you have to hyper focus in situational football.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this games came down to. It's essentially 4 quarters of situational football.
Well, it has to be in the Big Ten. And that's where I want to go next, because Mud Dog is texting in about that as well. I'm trying to do the math right now while I think about it in terms of the number of points Nebraska scored in conference play. So Nebraska has scored an even 25 points per game in Big Ten conference play.
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska is 3-3. Now, in fairness, 25 points per game in conference play is more than Nebraska scored in years past.
Mm-hmm.
But I go back to the magic number being 30 for Nebraska offensively. I don't know if the last time Nebraska scored 30 points per game in conference play. My guess is you were probably still in school.
Yeah.
Is going to be my guess, right? We know conference play gets harder because of familiarity, because of tendency, and all that sort of stuff. It gets double hard when you have, new coordinators coming in at midseason last year. And this is, just a calendar year for Dana Holgorsen here, which is both a reason and an excuse.
Yeah.
But bottom line is 25 points per game is not enough to get it done.
Yeah.
In Big Ten games. Now, you'd like to think it could be, maybe in the Big Ten West, if you're playing the type of defense that Nebraska has, because, let's just say Nebraska scores their season average of 33 points per game every game. If Nebraska hit a consistent 33 points, they beat Cincinnati, Akron, Houston Baptist, Michigan, Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota, Northwestern, and USC. If they're scoring 33 points per game.
Yeah.
Problem is it's an average. And Nebraska is not hitting 33 in the games that it needs to, you would think, hit 30. So that's the next step for this program, is how can you not drop off quite as far? Can you take another half step or step forward offensively, and then,
defensively as well.
defensively?
Yeah. And that all goes together, because if you are, 5% better on third down, 10% better on first and second down run or pass.
Mm-hmm.
That leads to
5% better in the red zone.
Right. That probably leads to 2 more possessions, or, 6 more minutes of ball potential possession of the ball, on offensively, and you like your chances there. So, and then offensively, you just want to see them, be able to take advantage of, if you're running the ball effectively, or if you have a really good first couple drives or whatever you need, especially in big games like this, can you put together productive drives when you need them the most? And it's not necessarily the points.
Well, it's been hard to do. It's hard to do. It's supposed to be hard to do.
It's hard to do, but when you have a 7-minute drive or whatever it was, and walk the ball down the field, and then you have 3 drives for less than 6 minutes, my point is the productive drives are first downs, moving the chain, so we can get Archie to flip the field, pin him down, get off, then eventually a first down, and then you make a field goal, and then now you're just depositing for future touchdowns, future turnovers, future sacks, forced fumbles. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's that middle part, 8 to 12 minutes. That's the most crucial part in all Big Ten play.
You said the key words, Big Ten.
Yeah.
If you're a Big 12 team, sure, it's football, it matters. But in the Big Ten, it's those little deposits that add up more so than the boom, boom, boom,
right, because
pinball.
Big 12 is like, you ain't never out of a game.
ACC.
Yeah, never out of a game. And it's the same SEC too. It's that middle 12. Here's an example, right? Ohio State played Penn State last week. They go in, I think the game was either 14-14 or 14-13.
14-10 at half, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
No, Penn State.
No, when Ohio State was up, they scored 24 unanswered in the second to win it by 28, I think.
Okay, so they were within, it was a close game.
Yeah, one possession.
Right. So Ohio State fans are on their, anxiety. What does Ohio State come out?
17-14.
17-14. Yeah, because I knew Penn State scored 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
But, okay, you're a 3-point game. All right? So that 6 minutes going into halftime, Ohio State lost that because Penn State scored with 2 back-to-back drives, 2 touchdowns at that against a defense that hadn't given up a touchdown in the first half, I think, all season.
Yeah,
right?
something crazy.
So they won that 6 minutes.
Mhm.
Ohio State won the next 6 minutes.
Big
Not
time.
only they win that next 6 minutes, they obliterated the game from there. And that was all set up with the patience and persistence, even though they were getting pushback with what they did in the first half. Right? They were like, hey, we weren't as efficient for the last 2 drives. They were heck of efficient in those for the first 2 or 3 drives in the second half. Good night, Irene. And we sing, the ladies singing. So with singing against us, we're up against the break. We're going to come back. Another quick segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock. Perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you the listener on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. Also, be on the. Make sure you keep listening. They are about to. Mark Manning and crew about to get their grapple on, and we're going to have the wrestling postgame show.
We will.
DP and a host of other people from the wrestling team are going to be on after the dominant performance by the Huskers. I'm calling it right now. Also got some high school football games going, playoff games about to kick off here, so that's always good. You got to give some good vibes. You know, we'll be locally biased. Lincoln East is going on the road up to Creighton Prep. Hard place to play. Great team running. They are a big running team, big physical, well coached. Lincoln East looking for another upset. So wish them all the luck. Wish everybody else, good luck as well. But we're back on it, Austin. We're back on it. Now we're into. I guess we do a little prediction time since we only got a short segment tomorrow. Are we in studio tomorrow? Or are we down at the Kindler?
Oh, we are in studio. It is a road game, so we are
okay
right here.
All right, we're
posted up at the spot.
Posted up because it's going to be cold tomorrow.
But not as bad as Sunday.
No,
as discussed previously.
But it's going to be It's going to be chilly tomorrow, and I think the game's going to be. I think it's going to start off a little slow. I think it's going to be 24-20. Huskers. 24-20.
I think this game goes more like Maryland. More Maryland than USC.
And what do you mean by that? Like,
I think it's more of a Nebraska style of game. I think a lack of film on Latif will play a factor. I think it's a different element that UCLA hasn't seen a lot of. Let me go through their schedule so I'm not speaking incredibly out of turn. But if you look at what UCLA has faced this year in terms of mobile quarterbacks, I don't think it's been many. Utah, Devin Dampier, that's a different beast. The way that
like
offensive line is playing. UNLV, meh. New Mexico, and Northwestern, not a running quarterback. Penn State, no. Michigan State, child's still kind of banged up, iffy. Maryland, we've seen that. And then Indiana with Mendoza when he has to.
Yeah,
not necessarily
not like Latif.
No.
Neither of those guys have the dead leg.
No. Neither of those guys from Compton either.
So. Yeah. They're going to represent.
I just think that this game against UCLA feels like the one at Maryland, where it's going to be a bit more of a shootout, a little bit more back and forth. I still think the magic number for Nebraska is 30. I think this is maybe a 30-27 score-ish, kind of like Michigan. I think UCLA finds ways to put up points against Nebraska.
Yeah.
But I do think that TJ Latif's legs play a factor in this game. And I do think he's good enough to go back home and find a way to win, right? I think it's going to be a gutty performance. I don't think it's going to be easy, but I don't think UCLA is so committed to the run. I don't think they have quite the number of weapons just up front on the offensive line to where they shouldn't be able to bully Nebraska, even with some time off to think about it. I just think this is a game that plays more into the way Nebraska is comfortable playing right now. And even on the road, I'll give the Huskers a possession edge.
Yeah, I'll take that either way. Nebraska wins. I just think it's going to be a little bit low scoring game because I think this.
Because you like defense, just admit it.
No, I think we're going to pound that ball on them.
That'd be ideal.
Yeah, we talking about, listen, what was it, Cincinnati? How many touches did Emmett have?
29.
Oh, yeah.
Or 31? A lot.
Yeah.
31, 32.
Yeah, add 5 on that.
There we
We're
go.
36 touches.
What is the longest distance of a touchdown scored for Nebraska and UCLA?
Ever?
No, just like in this game.
Did
we get a 40-plus yarder?
I think they're going to be a 40-plus. I think TJ Lateef throws a really good deep ball.
Are we calling a TJ Lateef to an Isaiah Hunter bomb? Are you calling it?
Dane Key, 50-50 ball. Yeah, I like it, man. I like a little Quinn Clark.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't seen much of Dane Key in the open field down the field, right? He's been the red zone kind of post-up, box-out threat. When Nebraska's gone to Dane Key down the field, intentional or not, it's ended up more back shoulder. Like he's the drop pass interference guy more so than the lead him go get it guy like Hunter could
He's going to have favorable matchup. Time to make that money. But
the last time you said that?
But when was the last time I said that?
Minnesota.
Oh, heck. I take that back.
I just got to warn you. The last time you said that was about number 17
if they play
in
like
maroon and gold.
I can tell you this right now. They play like they do against Minnesota against UCLA. I'll be devastated. Devastated.
I'm not saying Nebraska will play like Minnesota. I'm just saying last time you said Dane Key got to go get that money.
Yeah. You
Was
got
Minnesota.
shut out the week before. I need to see you.
Yeah.
But here's what I think. I think Nebraska needs to play with force. Systematically, whether you get your running game going early, but eventually get that bad boy going and you lean on it. And you make it you deposit body blows. And then you do a good job on Nico and you good to go. And then we need we're gonna need a big return. Now Mike Eckler, we need it. Okay.
Gotcha.
Now we might even have to suit you up, put some war paint on something. We got hey, we need somebody to come down there and put somebody's all day head to bed. Legally.
Eric Martin style.
Yeah. Yeah, but Eric, now that'd be
that's too far.
That'd be targeting.
Javen Wright versus USC style, or is that too far?
Oh yeah. You need to rock somebody. I think you got to bring it to these dudes on the away game. You want to show up excited and ready to play and appreciate the opportunity. But I think look, lean on Emmett, short game, pass game, and I think TJ Lateef can get into that same kind of intermediate pass game to get that confidence going. But don't be afraid to test them over top. They give you a favorable coverage. Let your players eat, and then they got to go eat. Don't it's not going to be like Dylan because Dylan's not playing. It's going to be like TJ Lateef. Go make them right.
What can Nebraska learn from what it did well against Maryland and what it needs to improve from Maryland to take on the road to UCLA?
Well, I think against Maryland, offensively, it was one of the better offensive line games that they've had, both in the run game and the pass game. I think they gave up that one sack before half, but otherwise they played pretty well. They were pretty efficient. So they can learn from that. I think they can take away from that game is that the ability to answer, right? Give up a touchdown, big return, and we finished in the red zone. So that is a super positive. They need to take away from it probably down in the red zone. Things happen a lot quicker, so we got to make sure you got to get to your first, second read, or then you got to make a decision that's best for the team. Understand situational football a little bit better because we had an interception there, and then was a return or something right?
There's a 3 interceptions, one that got a house call.
Right.
Yeah.
So those are what you got to learn from. Like how did we get in those situations? How can we get out of it? And then obviously you take it away. The biggest takeaway is the will to win and executing down the stretch, both offensively to score, defensively to get off the field. So that's it, man. I mean, you have more positives this year than negatives. That's not even a doubt. So you got to start obviously continue to focus on those and nurture those. And then really, find the negatives that you need to work on, and you got to make those, not so much of a negative. And you do that by really, really getting into that film tonight. Really getting in and I'm sure they'll have some walkthrough tomorrow, right? Really just be, like Jason Peter was talking about, just the pure science that he was talking about. People didn't realize that playing defensive line, when you're making a move, when you're on the right side, and it's your left foot has to be at a 45-degree angle. It has to be a short step. You can't be a long strider. And then you have to go vertical with your other one. Those are the things you want to go over, and you start to do that. You do it in your warm-ups when you get out into the game, and just let it go after when the game starts.
8253 says UCLA enters the game ranked 126th in rushing defense. Also text in, you guys know if they've left. They landed probably about an hour and a half ago in LAX. So they did make it out, government shutdown and all. But when you see a team, Jay, 126th against the run, I look at it two ways. Number one, it should be something that Nebraska can exploit. I mean, you hear Dana Holgorsen say, we're a running team now. Seems like everyone knows that. Yada, yada. You have a guy that's gone for, a G and Emmett Johnson already, but also a defense with a week to prepare for your run game.
Yeah.
An extra week to look at you specifically. What did you do well? What did you not do well? And that's why I still think it's important to bring up the element of the pass game, because UCLA is going to be at least somewhat prepared for Nebraska's run game, which doesn't say don't do it. But TJ Lateef has a good enough arm that it's not going to be, a 50 carry game, right? He's not, Matt Turman going down to Kansas State, riding Lawrence Phillips.
Yeah.
He's got an arm. Nebraska has weapons on the outside. You can't forget about them just because you see UCLA's number 126.
Yeah, you can't just, lean on the numbers. You got to make those numbers come to fruition. And you got to expect their best, that they got 2 weeks to try to add something or subtract something and get better at it, right? They probably put a lot of time in defensively on just, the basics and what they need to fix in the run game. So you got to expect it might be some tough sledding early, but you got to stick with the run game, because they will go back to whatever their habits had been before, especially if it's individualized habits.
Yeah.
So you just got to really stay the course. And then also the intermediate pass game and getting TJ Lateef out in stressful situations into positive and stress on the defense situation. That means whether it's a waggle, boot, RPO, get him going, attacking that defense. So then therefore they're starting to think about him and not thinking about the 2-week crash course on stopping the run that they hadn't been able to do for the 7 weeks prior. And then you get into the run game, and how you get into the run game also is important. Is it a schematic thing? Is it a personnel thing? That's what you have to line up and learn how to attack. And once you do that, it'll be fine. And you know what? You're going to play against loaded boxes, sometimes until, their game plan might be like, look, we're going to load the box and make TJ throw. Then make them pay for it.
Does that just come out to make quick perimeter throws, make one guy miss profit?
You can do that. We got Hunter showing the ability to run after the catch. Dane Key can make 50-50 catches. He's a big and physical enough receiver. If you just kind of, slide off of him, he can get a run after the catch. That will soften the defense up. Big game and big opportunity for Lindenmeyer. And Ja'Cory Barnett, we haven't even talked about him. Now, if you're doing all that, focusing on the run, they got to eat.
Yeah.
Because you can't say they loaded the box and then double coverage me or us. That's not. They don't have enough people out there. So get to work. Get to work. And what we're going to do, we're going to get to the break. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman will be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock. Perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, we're back, baby. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Pre-Huskers. Both predicting a hard-fought victory for the Huskers. And onward to upward. Get happy and healthy and, and recovered and rejuvenated in the bye week. And you got a 2-game mini season before you move on to the bowl game. So a lot to play for, a lot to accomplish still.
Obviously, the message is not, hey, we got a bye week coming up, but the message has to be empty the tank, right?
Oh, yeah. There's an old saying, leave nothing, take everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you know where that came from, don't you? You know exactly. That came from your boy Jon Snow. Leave nothing, take everything. What that means is leave nothing to leave nothing to ask, like double check. Leave nothing for them to have after it. And then you take everything. You take their pride, you take their heart, and then you take the victory from them. You leave nothing left in the tank. Leave nothing left in the tank. Leave nothing to question what if. Leave everything out there, and then you take everything when you go home. And the most important thing, you take the victory. And then guess what? After that, we'll take some time off, and then we'll get back to work. And then
we'll just take time without a game, if not time off.
Oh, they got a couple of days. They'll do it. But this is not a time for look at the end is near and put your foot out the gas. This is where you got to really double down on your principles and your foundation. So, anyways, the highlight of my day, besides talking to you, Austin, was seeing your boy that's going to be on corner 3. I get hyped every time I see him.
Every time you hear his name.
Every time I hear his name. He's the second coming of standing on business. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Stay tuned for corner 3 with my boy Jacob Big Time Bigelow. Big Time. That's a new nickname. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll holler at you next week, but more importantly, we'll holler at you tomorrow for the pregame Huskers 93.7 The Ticket. We'll holler at you.